Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings had a slow start against the Blazers last night, but were able to get the win 133-116. Kings had a couple of records broken yesterday. Domantas Sabonis got his 7th triple-double of the season, which passes Rajon Rondo for the most triple-doubles in a season in the Sacramento era. The other Kings All-Star, De'Aaron Fox, added his name to the Sacramento era record books with his 5th 30-point game in a row, passing DeMarcus Cousins, Chris Webber, and Mitch Richmond, who all had 4. For more on last night's game, go to SactownSports.com and check out our Kings Cowboy Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown of the Kings win. Kings won't have much time to think about last night's win when they're back in action tonight when they face the Clippers in Los Angeles. You can listen to the game with Kings Live at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7:30 right here on Sactown Sports. Now it's time for Deuce and Mo.
live from Sacramento.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
We are live! Happy Friday! The Kings lit the beam last night, but buckle up. Tonight's a new challenge, a big-time test. They take on a Clippers team that is probably going to be in title contention. Second night of a back-to-back. Russell Westbrook's debut for the Clippers. He'll be in the starting lineup. You better be ready. Kings Clippers tonight. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. We got a jam-packed show. We got the Kings Roundtable at 1. Then we got our good friend, the broadcasting stud, Noah Eagle joins us.
Ah!
That's what eagles sound like?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
What do they sound like?
Eagles caw.
What do they sound like?
It's more like.
Wait, those were actually really good. Okay. What was it eating?
And you know, eagles are brutal, but Noah Eagle, great guy.
Great, not brutal. Does not have claws.
Yes.
Great human being. Great broadcaster.
He'll be live with us at noon. He is the radio voice of the Los Angeles Clippers. So we'll talk to him kind of about his journey, by the way, because he's 25 years old. And let's also mention he's in his 3rd season as the Clippers announced, maybe longer. All I know is he got the job when he was 22.
I'm just so jealous because he's so talented. and so nice.
Such a great guy. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Morgan Reagan, how are you?
I'm feeling good on this Friday.
Yeah?
Feeling good. And I think again, it's probably because the Sacramento Kings were playing last night. And I don't think it's healthy that my feelings, my emotion, my mental health is based off of a professional basketball team. But it is. And that's where I'm at in my life.
Hey, it was a nice win last night.
No,
Let's talk about the game last night.
Okay.
The Kings beat the Blazers at Golden One Center. What a bizarre game. Like, we were chronicling it during our show yesterday. Like, are we going to even play this game?
Yeah.
Right? Like, the Blazers had their travel issues. Right before the end of the show, we find out Dame's not playing. Jeremy Grant's not playing. They're resting.
We were speechless.
They're resting. And that's without Simons, without Nurkic, without Winslow. And it's like, okay, that was the starting 5 opening night when the Kings were taking on the Blazers, the game in which the Kings lost on opening night. So you were like, all right, Kings got to take care of business.
Yeah.
Smack this team around. They ended up taking care of business at the end. Got off to kind of a slow start.
Oh,
Morgan.
don't say kind of. That was scary. That was scary.
Was it really scary?
It was.
When they were down 19-4. Watching it, I just didn't feel it was an ugly start. But I never got the sense, I'm like, oh, this is going to continue.
I think it was more of, seriously, you're going to do this, but there was never a fear of they're going to lose this game.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. The fear wasn't necessarily there right away, but the we spent 3 hours yesterday talking about how, they got to come out strong and suck it to them. We went over the defensive numbers of what the Kings do in the first quarter compared to the fourth quarter. Oh, they got to change that around in the 25 games left in this season. And what do? They crap the bed in the first few minutes of that game. So yeah, that part didn't feel good, but I don't need to dwell on that. But I think it's important that we break down what the hell happened in those moments.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it too last night was like, man, first game after the All-Star break is kind of weird. And they got off to a slow start. They're missing shots. They're missing great looks, couple of turnovers, defensive breakdowns, and you're down 19-4. But how are you going to respond? They responded well. They finished the quarter the right way. And I know they still gave up 37 points, but when you're down 19-4 and then you're down 8 going into the second quarter, you're fine.
Do you think though, because this was something we talked about a little bit last night, do you think it was, again, a locked in mentality thing because they came into a game where a team was going to be all jet lagged or whatever and missing all their guys?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
just bad defensive rotations, closeouts. I mean,
I think sometimes when a team gets down,
yeah,
we always try to make the most obvious. They are ready to go, or the effort's not there. It's all
wasn't effort.
It's all the cliche stuff.
Yeah,
they missed some easy looks in the
Yeah.
beginning of this game where you're going,
good point.
oh my God, like Sabonis, she missed at the rim.
De'Aaron's shot was just way off the mark. Yeah.
Wide open threes. And
Okay.
what the hell is going on?
Okay.
And then defensively, yeah, there were breakdowns, but I think that happens when you've got live ball turnovers. Then there's cross matches everywhere. I'm not trying to paint the Kings defense as anything that was special in that opening game, but all of a sudden or in that opening quarter, all of a sudden they start knocking down shots. The confidence is up. And there's also something to the fact that the Blazers were like, we got to rally. When guys who don't normally get big minutes get opportunity, you play with a little extra juice. And it was there at the start, but you could also tell, these guys who don't play big time minutes were a little gassed late in that game.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what we've seen even with someone like Terrence Davis at times when he's not getting into the rotation. But last night he really stepped up coming off the bench for the Kings. And I think he was a huge part of that energy shift for the Kings, but it wasn't only him. It was like they took a timeout or two and then figured things out, started going back on their run, started playing their basketball, and their basketball being still had some sloppy plays and some turnovers when they were even trying to go back on that run and getting the lead before the half. But it was the way that they started locking down better on the defensive end, the way they started being a lot more physical with this Portland squad, understanding, we don't need to go around them. We need to go right damn through them. And that's what they started doing.
Mike Brown was talking about after the game. He was starting the conversation about all NBA team. You know, you started the conversation about, hey, these guys are all-stars. They should be in. Now he's kind of pushing the Fox Sabonis as all NBA level talent. Watching Fox last night, I don't care who you're going up against because this was happening before the break. He's been doing it a lot this year. That guy got whatever he wanted.
Let's talk about it.
It wasn't just like scoring. He only played 20. He played 26 minutes last night.
Yeah.
And he scored 30 plus points for the 5th consecutive game. That's pretty big time stuff. And it's how he did it. He's playing physical. That one play where he ripped it away from Keon Johnson, ripped it away, and then he took it to him, shouldered into him, score it, count the basket.
It's like I'm doing a show with De'Aaron Fox right now.
No, but he's playing with an edge.
I know. No,
And as we continue to talk about all this stuff today, we'll be talking a lot of Kings because it's a big game tonight. Can you play with that type of edge, that type of physicality against a team like the Clippers that is long, athletic? They have a ton of defenders. How are you going to bring it tonight against an experienced team, not playing like the Blazers G League squad that they don't actually have?
Right. And that's okay. And that's what I did love about last night's game is the way that they did turn it on, because how many times do we see these games against the Rockets, against the Spurs, whoever that low level team is, and you're like, you don't want them to just win. You want them to suck it to them, right? And the way that De'Aaron was going into guys, getting physical, and not just looking for a foul anymore. He is looking to score that bucket. And then you look in that mid-range game, it didn't matter if it was the way that he was changing his speed with his dribble or with his body having a shoulder turn one way, boom, explode, go the other. Oh my God. Or that baseline drive that he had. He's going baseline reverse right. Oh, stop it right now. Not only that, his floaters. So we talk about all the way that he can shoot the jump shot in the mid-range, go baseline, have the reverses. But the way that he has gotten that floater down, the finesse, the feel of it, the way that it has that high arc to go over any big that commits and come up to him, and it goes straight down through the net. It's just been incredible what he's been able to do.
One of my favorite De'Aaron Fox stats.
Oh,
Since he returned from being away a couple of games,
yeah.
he has shot 9 free throws, 10 free throws, 14, 8, and 8.
Okay, now.
He's getting to the free throw line. Before he was absent those 2 games, here are the attempts.
Okay.
3, 5, 10, 1, 2, 10, 7, 0, 3.
Conspiracy theory music, please.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay. De'Aaron Fox, not an all-star. Low free throws. De'Aaron Fox, all-star. High free throws.
Well,
refs, more respect? I think so.
Well, let's take a look. When was he actually named to the All-Star team as a replacement? Was that February 10th? Is that true? I'm trying to find the exact date. Can we?
When the free throw number started
February
going up?
10th was when he was named. That night, he shot 14 free throws. The next game, he shot 14.
Oh, look at this. The league says all-stars don't get calls.
Oh, they don't?
They don't? Because the last time I checked, Fox wasn't getting to the line like this. All of a sudden, he's named to the all-star team, and De'Aaron Fox is getting the all-star whistle.
This is a real conspiracy theory, right?
I think we figured it out.
I used to hate the whole all-star call thing.
Yeah.
Now I love it. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Well, when you have some all-stars on your team,
Yeah.
why
Can't
not?
let our all-star get hurt.
You know?
Yeah, no, you got to make sure you got to protect your all-stars in this league. And De'Aaron Fox is an all-star, baby. I love it.
He was awesome last night. And it's, you talk about the offense and we get so enamored by that. To me, it's about being physical. It's about playing with an edge. It's about the leadership qualities. What he's doing defensively, getting into guys.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited about tonight. I want to see how they respond against this tough Clippers team. We're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to stay live at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the radio side. It's Deuce and Mo on a Friday. Oh, what's up, YouTube people?
Can you feel the energy?
And yeah, I feel like I've been neglecting you guys a little bit, and you've been neglecting us. Let's be honest about it, because the reality is we've got nearly 200 people watching us live right now. That's a respectable number.
Yeah.
53 thumbs up. I'm sorry, 53 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get that going. All it does is help this channel grow, so more and more people realize that we got live and local content starting in the morning, all the way through the afternoons. Into the evening,
Dude.
you could chat with the people.
We have a
Oh,
fun
wow. Is this quick?
little lineup.
Oh, no, he's just grabbing
Oh.
something.
Just grabbing something. What are you grabbing?
I got to give some love to Dave Lack.
Yes.
He does these 3D printings of Golden One Center. So he made this 3D, and then if I put a light here, we're gonna debut that at some point. And then how about this? Something for your desk. A little 3D printed Golden One Center. Put your little pin there. I'll put the pin. Oh, you want to put a paper clip in there?
Put a little paper clip in there.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's the
Clippy?
coolest thing ever. Put a little paper clip.
It's Deuce and Mo on your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
Oh man, I'm juiced today.
So am I.
It's a big game feel. It feels like every game from here on out is big, but it gets bigger tonight. Kings and Clippers. Kings coming off a win last night in Portland. against Portland.
Against Portland.
133 to 116. The Kings have 33 wins. 33 wins. Why is that number important, Morgan Reagan?
That number is important because that number, my friends, has not happened a lot to the Sacramento Kings.
I saw this guy named Ryan Ritter on Twitter last night about 1 o'clock in the morning as I was trying to fall asleep.
Oh, that's healthy.
And he was detailing every year where the Kings won their 33rd game since the 06-07 season. And
Also
he
not
would have
healthy.
he would have 33 wins the day and then next to the year, right? So
Yeah.
like this year,
Yeah.
Kings won their 33rd game on February 23rd.
Okay.
Amazing. But then there's a whole bunch of NA.
That's our damn.
The last time they won 33 games, you got to go back to the 18-19 season. They did that on March 9th. Before that, yeah, it keeps getting worse, Morgan.
And there's 82 games in all these seasons, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
God.
And now I need to pull up his tweet because I just realized I'm missing one of the dates. Okay, so it gets worse than that. You have to go back to the 15-16 season. They won their 33rd game, April 11th, 2016. That's the end of the season.
Hi.
Okay.
At least they got there.
Then you got to go back to the 07-08 season when they won their
No.
33rd game at the end of March.
No.
Then you got to go back to the 06-07 season when the drought began. They won their 33rd game on April 15th, 2007. So do the math. They have not reached 33 wins in 12 of the 16 years of the playoff drought. Isn't that crazy?
It's when you honestly, it's not crazy. It's actually depressing because if you
Mhm.
really break it down, think about just put yourself in the shoes of last year, you guys. And remember all the dark. I mean, I'm sorry to do this to you, but just go there with me. Remember all the dark, awful, beamless nights,
Ugh.
right? And think about that for all the other seasons too, for so long in the beginning of seasons, just not seeing any wins, but not even having pretty basketball. I was ready this season to just have less wins, but a fun, good product on the floor. I'm getting both. I can't go back. You can't ever bring me back. I can't go back, Deuce.
Oh, man.
I can't.
As Cole says in the chat, the dark ages. Yeah, the dark ages. So, yeah, it's crazy that, 16-year playoff drought is one thing, but the fact that they've only won 33 games during that 16-year run 4 times?
I wish we knew this stat, and I'm not, obviously we can't do this right now. I'm curious what other teams are like in that realm of things.
There's not.
Timberwolves?
No, because there's been no other team this is the longest playoff drought in NBA history.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So, no, it's not a thing.
We win.
Well, this year the Kings are winning.
Oh, yeah, they are, baby.
Morgan, the one thing I do want to talk about from last night's game.
Yeah.
I felt like, and this is another, I'm dropping conspiracy theories left and right with the All-Star thing, but even this, I felt like the Blazers wanted last night's game postponed.
Oh, I love this theory. Go on.
So the night before, they have these travel issues. They're sitting on the tarmac for 7 hours. Then some players have to go drive home, couple hours to get home.
Yeah.
Then they have to come to the airport the next day, 9 a.m. They don't leave until 1:30 in the afternoon. My conspiracy theory is during that time, the Blazers were trying to communicate with the league on, hey, can we reschedule this game? Can we reschedule this game? This is our players, they're tired. We've been waiting a long time. Yeah, we can't travel day of game. This is bad. We don't know when we can leave. And when the league said, we're not doing that. You can still get there. It's a 90-minute flight. That's when the Blazers went, okay, Dame is resting, and so is Jeremy Grant. It makes no sense that they would sit those guys last night because if Dame was that tired, if they needed to rest him, then he should have stayed in Portland. They don't play again until Sunday against the Houston Rockets at home. Why is he there? It was a slap in the face to the league, but to me, it was a slap in the face to NBA fans. This is what we talk about with the league, right? Zach Lowe had a rant on this the other day on his podcast with the All-Star game becoming such a joke. And now 25% of your regular season is just kind of like, oh, we're resting, load management. You cannot be listing guys as out due to rest coming out of the All-Star break. It was just a bad look last night for the Blazers.
That's two things. That's why whenever I've had the idea for years now, and so have so many other people have been like, hey, you got to shorten the season. Then everyone's like, no, because of money. And it's like, well, you're just going to keep losing money, or you're going to lose real fans if you don't make sure you have a quality product, right? But then the second thing is you talk about this Portland team being petty with all this. It's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose for all the fans, but it's a lose-lose for the freaking team that is trying to still make the playoffs.
Morgan, that's it. Like,
what?
We're in the final stretch of the season. They go, yeah, we're just going to punt this game?
Yeah.
I mean, look at how Portland came out last night. They scored 37 in the opening quarter. If Dame plays, could they maintain that? Maybe steal a win?
Maybe.
We mentioned this yesterday. The Kings had a game last year in New Orleans where they got stuck. They were trying to leave New Orleans to go to San Antonio. They ended up having to leave the plane, recheck into the hotel, leave the next morning, and then they went to San Antonio and got the win. I also mentioned the 06-07 season when the Kings had problems getting to Denver on the second half of back-to-back, by the way, and they had to fly into Colorado Springs and then bus to Denver. They show up 90 minutes before the game. You know what they did? They played their guys and they won the game.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, though, Deuce, and I brought this up a little bit yesterday, and I think some people don't care, and I don't care about you then, but like you think about WNBA players and just what they have to go through. They don't make any money, though. That's what all these trolls are going to say. They don't make any money, though. Whatever. That's not the point. They're athletes, they're pro athletes, and they play through it. They sleep in an airport and they play the game the next day. It doesn't get postponed. They do what they have to do because they're pros. They do it. And I just look at this and it's like, it's just a whole bunch of like, oh, we've been spoiled for far too long that now we can push back on things because everyone wants to see us, so we have to do it the right way. The right way is to play the damn game because that's why you're getting paid millions.
And it sucks. I'm not even disputing that it would have been challenging for Portland yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, dude, travel issues are terrible. I'm assuming a lot of people listening or watching us right now have been through travel issues where you're just like, this sucks. And then go play an NBA game that's a lot. But you know what? So you just got to suck it up sometimes. You just got to go play. It's like, it's not like this all the time. You're coming off the All-Star break. Go out there and play. So I just thought that was a really disappointing and a bad look for the Blazers last night, especially a team that's trying to win. I thought they were trying to get into the playoffs and they just punted last night. Going back to the Kings, though, it was great to see De'Aaron have a big night.
Yeah.
Sabonis, we got to give this guy some love.
Oh my God. I was excited to talk about him.
Triple-double.
No
His
big.
7th triple-double this year, breaking the Kings franchise record.
But it was probably like 11, 10, and like 12.
Oh,
right?
no. Just 18, 18, and 10.
You like that? He's so good. He's so good, Deuce. And it's not, but now look at those numbers, right? And you see like 18 rebounds. You see, you're impressive. But watch the game. It's how he's getting those numbers. You guys, we talked about how De'Aaron in this squad got a lot more physical. Sabonis was a huge part of that too. He was setting the tone, not only from beyond the arc with his dribble handoffs and then like sending a guy to the floor with just being a brick wall, but then down low, battling through guys, going through their chest to not only make a bunny or to just get a rebound. It was incredible the way that he was just stepping up the physicality through this one.
He ends up playing 31 minutes, by the way, the most of any starter, which is the great news. Another great thing about last night after that slow start in the first quarter, they cleaned stuff up and they had everyone contribute. We got to talk about Terrence Davis in a bit, Malik Monk, but Sabonis, were you a little concerned after that ugly start in the first quarter?
Yeah, me personally, I wasn't worried. We just came from the break, been in the league 7 years now, and it usually happens first couple of minutes. We got open looks, we just missed, and then that just led them in transition. So, but we knew once we got a win under us, got that touchback, we were gonna be all right.
I love watching. I watched that last night, and he's just like smiling while I was saying it. Been in the league for a while now. It's like sometimes you go through it, and then sometimes you just push through it. And it's like, no, Sabonis, you and the rest of the squad have elevated your games to a whole nother level, though. When you face that adversity, it's not like you're scrambling back and you're making some fluky shots. It's they lock in mentally, physically, as a team and find a way to push through to make sure to finish a game like that.
Most triple doubles in a season in Sacramento history was 7.
I mean, incredible.
Stud.
Just a stud.
We'll talk more about this game too. If you guys have thoughts, of course, drop them in the chat. We can talk about it. You can also pick up your phone, hit us up, 1-800-920-1140, and talk to us too. That's 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. It's Deuce and Mo on a Friday on Sactown Sports. Foxy, are the Ox resting tonight? I don't think so. That would be pretty shocking. I think the only injury right now tonight is Zubats is going to be out.
Oh, great. Love it.
They still have Plumlee.
Who?
More like Zub outs.
Nice.
And
Yes.
I know some people are, is Kawhi playing? I mean, he's not on the injury report at this point. I guess anything can happen. It sounds like Westbrook's going to be in the lineup and in the starting lineup, replacing Terrence Mann. I'm looking at the latest injury report. No, the only guys out, Brandon Boston and Jason Preston, who are with the Ontario Clippers. They played a game in Stockton last night, and then Zubats is out. No Kings are listed. They don't have to submit their injury report yet because they're on a back-to-back. So I imagine everything's good. I mean, the one thing that Fox did last night, and it didn't seem to bug him late, was he did tweak it. Remember he tweaked his ankle early in that game in the first quarter, Morgan?
Did he? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's limping after that first time out.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Sorry. Did you want me to? I'm okay. Don't.
Morgan's on her like monthly. I'm in pain.
It's so a month. It's called a cycle. Yeah. I mean, would anyone in this station understand? No, because I work around a whole bunch of men.
You're cramping.
Oh, no, don't cramp. Oh yeah, could we get like a? Yeah,
that's gonna help your cramp.
No, but I would need like if they did like a menstruation sponsor or something, at a sports radio station. I think that would be genius. There's a lot of female fans, and actually,
women don't watch sports, Morgan. Right?
Hi, welcome to Mo's Minute. I'm here now, so I don't kill my partner, Dave Deuce Mason. If you are also cramping or just need to take a big breath, do it with me now, so we can survive through this day together. Ready? Through the nose and out the mouth. Thank you for normalizing cycles with Morgan.
Die Hard Dylan, Mo's menstruation minutes. J-Dog in the chat.
Once a month.
I don't like this message from J-Dog.
What do you say?
Odds are we're going to lose. Why not rest Fox and or Sabonis? Here's why. Hey, this is disgusting. This is the NBA. Any given night you can go win. I want Fox and Sabonis to compete. This is what you do. You don't go, I think we're going to lose tonight. Hey, Fox. Brown imagine that. Mike Brown walks in today as shooter on. Hey, second night of a back-to-back. Clippers, they're 24-11 when Kawhi plays. They out Westbrook. Fox, Sabonis, you guys want to sit tonight? Well, let's try to win another game.
So weird.
No, you may have to see this team in the playoffs. You go to LA with the mindset is we're going to go there and beat them tonight. We're going to go there and show that we belong, that we deserve to be the hunted, that we deserve to be respected. Ooh. This is our time. Fox, turn the effing Jets on. J-Dog, I can't believe you would even say that.
How dare you?
You make me sick.
I would like to, I think it would be great as if there's a player on the team that's just like, oh, I'm kind of sore. I don't know about tonight. I don't know if I can go. I think the team should just like, okay, go tell that to Sabonis.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to go tell your leader.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. Go tell Sabonis.
Yeah.
The guy that's been working on his hand 24 hours a day.
Yes.
It's broken. Yeah. No, love it.
J-Dog, I need you to take this moment to apologize in the chat. I also need the rest of you guys who are jumping him right now to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. We're at 96 right now. That should be around $1.50. So please hit that. It helps the channel grow. It doesn't just make us feel good. It literally helps the channel grow. You can also subscribe too. Over 6,000 subs now.
Dude, hey, we're pushing subs left and right. Huh? Funny. Hey, that number was pretty low.
Okay, Morgan.
Number was pretty
Okay,
low.
Morgan. Stop. I mean, you're 100% right, but stop.
Huh.
I like making Deuce feel uncomfortable.
Huh.
Who is that towards?
Too little?
Everybody.
Chris.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings had a slow start against the Blazers last night, but were able to get the 133-116 win over the Blazers. Kings had a couple of records broken yesterday. Domantas Sabonis got his 7th triple-double of the season, which passes Rajon Rondo for the most triple-doubles in a season in the Sacramento era. The other Kings All-Star, De'Aaron Fox, also added his name to the Sacramento era record books with his 5th 30-point game in a row, passing DeMarcus Cousins, Chris Webber, Mitch Richmond, who all had 4. For more on last night's game, go to SactownSports.com and check out our Kings Cowboy Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown of the game. The Kings won't have much time to think about last night's game when they are back in action tonight against the Clippers in Los Angeles. You can listen to the game starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7:30 right here on Sactown Sports. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
One of my favorite things about last night's Kings win, Morgan.
What?
Terrence Davis. TD! This guy was big again last night coming off the Kings bench, and all of a sudden looks like he is starting to stick in that rotation. Mike Brown's been hard on the guy. He wants him to play control, doesn't want him to make mistakes, but he wants him to be himself out there. Last night, the guy comes off the bench. The bench was huge last night for Sacramento. He gave the Kings 20 points in 18 minutes, but it was what he said post-game that kind of gave me chills.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here's what Terrence Davis talked about what it would mean for the Kings to make the playoffs.
Everything, I was just talking to some of my teammates and some front office guys. This is, Sacramento hasn't been in this position in almost 2 decades. And the importance of these last 25 games is just, you can't really put it into words, but going on, walking on the court and knowing that you're in a position to do something that has been done in, almost 2 decades, that should light a fire in you. For me, it's honestly, man, I was on the All-Star break just thinking about it while I was, somewhere else. I was just thinking about it and, trying to put into perspective how important these last few games are. So this is definitely major. This is something, special for sure. We have, like I said, it's been almost 2 decades. So it's important, man. This is everything.
That's not someone who's been in Sacramento for 10 years.
Sounds like
He's
it
been here a
is.
couple of years, man.
Sounds
And
like
he feels it. It's a big reason why this community loves this team this year. It's, of course, they win. You're gonna love a team when they win. But dude, I think everyone here who plays on this team kind of understands like the relationship with the fan base. And
100
for TD, who came in when the team was bad, and of course during times when the audience was restricted, the capacity was restricted at the arena because of the pandemic, you didn't get to feel it. Now you walk in that building, there was 18,000 people at that game last night. It wasn't the loudest it's been because that game was kind of weird against Portland, like kind of that star power. But I just appreciate the fact that he was on this All-Star break reflecting, going, I understand what this means. This fire is being lit underneath me because I want this, not only for us, but this city.
Well, I kind of have another conspiracy theory.
Oh, what?
And
this is our third. Is Alex Jones coming in studio?
It's more of a theory, but
not every theory has
I'll
to be
the judge of that.
Yeah. No, so
Okay,
it's really more
Go
of a
with the theory. Okay.
When we have been talking about all week, Mike Brown talking about, hey, these guys are the hunted, and there's a target on our back and all these things. I was mentioned this to you last night. I said, do you think Mike Brown said that more, whether he believes it or not, just to light the fire under the Kings' tushes to motivate them in a different way. Like, everyone's looking at you, whether they are or not. It's like him saying that, making guys feel like this in the last 25 games of the season. And again, we want guys to feel like this on their own. This might be something that TD just feels on his own. But I'm going to tell you right now, Deuce, guys were not feeling this before with other coaches. Guys were not feeling this before with other teams. You never felt really inspired when someone said, I want to be a part of that team that breaks the playoff curse. It's like, no, you just want to do it. Like, you don't understand why you want to do it. You don't understand the connection and the history. You can feel the connection and the passion with TD talking about it. And I feel like the whole team feels that way.
Yeah, I feel like in the past, because every player, I think, has been asked about that. I don't know, probably the last decade.
Yeah.
Playoff droughts lasted a long time. So, and, you hear the typical things. Yeah, I mean, of course, our goals make the playoffs, but, we weren't here, blah, 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 blah. That's not us. But you get the sense that this year feels different. And they understand, like, okay, we got something here. We're building something. All guys kind of in the similar age range. Oh, man, I'm nervous for tonight.
What? Wait,
is that a
all
switch?
That? yeah.
Well, because it is such an important stretch here. And tonight, I just really want them to go in there and be competitive.
What are you gonna do if the Kings make the playoffs? Like, if you're feeling this way,
I'm crying.
No, I feel like you're crying anytime we're on the show and there's a game that night. You're gonna be like, I just need the Kings to win tonight, because this isn't just I know it's a Friday night game against the Clippers, and it shouldn't just say it's just another Friday night game against the Clippers, because it's not. You're right. It's the debut of Russell Westbrook within this squad that is trying to feel inspired, to find a way to push through, to become a contender out of the Western Conference. That's what their goal is. And that's what a lot of people have said about this Clippers team to start the season. So yeah, this is a big game, because the Kings can't come out how they came out last night, because if they did, good teams like this will shove them down.
Yeah, I really, and again, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Kings can't win.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. They're a really challenging matchup.
What are you trying to say? I feel like are you scared?
A little bit. I'm a little scared.
I'm kind of picturing like what I could see happening, like negatively, because me, Christopher Lott, I'm always glass half empty.
Yeah. Morbid, yes.
So I could see him doing like they did last night, down 46-19 in the first quarter, and then just like fight the entire time, and then lose by and then lose by 7. It's just like,
and that's the worst.
No,
yes.
I think that would be terrible to have that type of start, but you just can't get destroyed tonight. You need to be competitive. Tonight is a statement game for the Kings that they could make a statement, in my opinion, even if they lose. Like, hey, we're going to fight till the end. We're going to compete, and we're going to go down swinging. We're not going to get punked tonight. You're not going to be more physical than us. You may be longer. You may play great defense, but we also have an explosive offense.
There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with you on that, because it's like, no, they have to win. I'm realistic. I'm with you completely.
If they win tonight, that's
huge.
Crazy. I'm not predicting that.
Huge.
A couple of things. This Clippers team with Kawhi Leonard, especially lately, they're legit. They're 24-11 when he plays. And over his last 17 games, 27.6 points, 6.5 boards, 4.2 assists. He's doing it on 51% shooting, 46% from 3, and 92% from the free throw line. But then you have to factor in, he's also Kawhi Leonard defensively tonight. That's what makes this Clippers team great. They could switch. And when the Kings have struggled against some of these elite teams, remember that Boston Celtics game? What do they do well? They could switch. They got multiple guys who could defend. The Phoenix Suns did that earlier this season against the Sacramento Kings. This team, when they're locked in, can really defend at a high level and make life challenging for a guy like De'Aaron Fox. Fox may not, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Fox is going to be able to get his like he is used to, and that's what you have to fight through tonight. The other thing is, Russ has destroyed the Kings this year.
He all of a sudden shoots well from 3-point land against the Kings. We know.
In 3 games against the Kings this year, 21 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 43% shooting, 47% from 3, 8 of 17 from 3 against the Kings this year.
His favorite team to play.
Step back. On the season, he shoots 29% from 3.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but I know you're going to hate that I say this. I still want to break down a lot of this coming up next.
That's fine. We're going to. I'd love to hear from people too. If you want to hit us up, 1-800-920-1140. How are you guys feeling about tonight's Kings-Clippers game? What are your expectations? We'll talk about that. Plus, Clippers radio voice and the broadcast and stud Noah Eagle joins us live at noon. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. What's up, chat? Where are we at? Let's see. I like it. 118. Should be at 150 right now. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Thanks, party people. Kevin O'Connor complimenting us. I just love him.
KOC?
KOC.
Says he loves us. Never been on our show or podcast.
He will. He will. He will.
I did like the fire alarm last night. And as soon as I saw that, I thought like, oh man, could you imagine if we did that here and then just sprinklers?
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
We would get in a lot of trouble.
For those who don't know, we had a fog machine last night.
Looked dope.
It looked great. And I said, it was the timing of it was hilarious because I was like, yeah, it just adds a different dimension, you know? And then beep, beep, beep.
It was, I even said to Deuce I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And Deuce was like, it will fade.
It's fog.
You'll get used to it.
It's
Fog.
and then
It's natural fog, right?
alarms. No, because the alarms are going off. And then.
No, I thought they bottled up in San Francisco. And...
Oh, no. And then someone said on our Discord, like, hey, you should probably open a window. That stuff isn't good for you in a small space.
Really?
So Deuce was just, and then I started feeling nauseous because like smells just get to me. So I was like, I'm not even going to be able to finish this show. I did. I worked.
I mean, how many views would you had if you threw up during game night? That might have made not top 10.
What I was thinking about is like if it did, like we just both like pass out and everyone's like, oh, this is funny, Deuce. And then it's like
the live stream is 10 hours.
Why someone call for help? This is not Deuce and Mo are passed out. And people are just watching us. Most views ever.
Yeah. Did we monetize?
Steven says that stuff is bad for your throat too. Yeah, I think I definitely lost some brain cells last night.
Yeah, that's going to be a new TikTok trend of inhaling fog machines.
Fog machines are dope, dude. It's just so cool. I'm like, I have a fog machine now. I ordered like this big old jug of the fog liquid. You just pour it in there.
Yeah.
What's in there?
It's just clear liquid. I don't know.
Clear liquid.
I don't know. They say keep it away from anything that's flammable.
You didn't say this.
Well, there's nothing in there. We're good.
I mean, the kitchen is right there.
Oh, that's fine.
The dryer is right there.
Here's the thing, Morgan. If the Kings win tonight, we're 100% turning on the fog machine. We'll just have to.
I forgot it's we're talking about a game, and then I'm like, oh my God, the fog machine could be coming out tonight. I thought the fog machine was for the 10K subs.
No, it's the Kings win fog machine.
I don't think that's
yeah, I bought a fog machine because we hit 10,000 subs. We're using it once. That's it. Throw it away.
No, you'd use it for when you got 20,000 subs.
There we go.
No.
Oh, I guess that's a no.
It's cool. Maybe I can just. I'll
that's fine.
Windows.
We got to open windows.
Maybe there's a way that we could figure out how to make an environmentally safe fog machine.
Can I ask what's the fun in that?
The thrill of suffocating is
yeah.
The thrill of
hey, we might pass out.
Yeah.
Man, that clip we played of TD. Didn't it make you love him even more?
You know what's funny? TD has that voice where he sounds like he's going to cry sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, like, it just makes it that much more like, oh.
I will say there is one thing missing from the Kings. They need that player that absolutely everybody hates, but you love that they're on your team.
I don't need a Patrick Beverly, you know?
But you can. I would love a Patrick Beverly.
No, Dylan Brooks. Who's like a Dylan Brooks. You know, I was looking up Dylan Brooks' numbers today in the last like 14 games.
And?
Oh my God. 9 points, like 30-something% shooting, 20-something% from three. It's going to be hard today.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Morgan just knows how to bring my high down.
Why?
I'm feeling good. Kings win. They play tonight. It's just like, I get it. All right. We're super open about things. You're cramping a lot today, right?
Yeah.
Menstruation. But like,
normalize a cycle.
no,
people.
I do. But I feel like when you're on your cycle, I'm on it. Like, it's just, it impacts me. Like, your cramping is just like, you're just sitting there like, hunched over. And I'm like, it takes away from what I'm trying to achieve.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this
I
is.
mean, you look like you're in pain. How am I supposed to hang out with you and do a show when you're
This
like,
is great content coming from an adult man. No, please proceed. What else? Should I just like not be here?
I'm just saying, like, I don't.
Yeah.
Chris,
No. What would you like?
I'm talking to Chris for a second. Chris.
So then I get the blame.
Imagine if like De'Aaron Fox was trying to play with Sabonis, and Sabonis during the whole game since he got hurt was just grabbing his hand, just like, my hand hurts. It's like, look,
I would think D Fox would be like, bro, I got you.
Yeah, let's go.
I got you. I'm putting you on my back and I'm taking care of it.
I can't put her on my back because she's like,
I thought he was gonna say because I'm like 1 billion pounds.
No.
I was just waiting for it, dude. Like, you realize when that happens, it's like your body is being like, hey, do you want, I want to act like I'm creating a baby. And like, you think about women and like athletes that play through this stuff. And then on top of all that play pregnant. You know how many WNBA players last year, like we found out, were playing pregnant through a championship game?
No, that's
incredible
crazy.
what women can do. So please, if I'm having a few cramps, there's no heating pad around. Maybe like this place can provide a heating pad and some Midol. That would be great.
You know, cramping sucks.
Thank you.
There's one day like a couple weeks ago, and this is the worst. I'm in bed. I'm waking up in the morning, and you wake up to a cramp in your calf, and I'm just
a little different, but yeah, sure.
Oh, it's a little different. I would say it's probably more painful.
You need to get some more of the potassium in your system.
Chris, I asked Morgan this the last month. I said, you would think at some point.
You just want to use this line.
At some point, after all these years, think about how many months.
Yeah.
At some point,
probably since you're like 12, 13.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's like, all right.
You like that line, Chris?
Any thoughts on this?
I don't like that line. This isn't fun anymore.
Oh, God.
Jamar says, when you take that morning stretch and get that cramp in your leg, be having you pray to God. No, it's true. I'm not religious, but somehow in that moment, I am like deeply religious. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Someone just said cramp in the toe is the worst. I've never had a cramp in my toe.
Yeah, what is that?
Like, yeah, what does that feel like?
I've had it. You've never had your foot cramp before?
Like, I've had my foot cramp, but
but not my toe.
Oh, God. I don't want to. It just brings back but hey, appreciate you playing hurt.
I'm fine. I wasn't even talking about it. I'm just like, battling through. Let's go. I'm like Sabonis with a broken thumb.
See how this happened, Chris? I motivated her just now.
Thank you, Daddy Deuce.
Yes, you're welcome.
You're the worst.
Appreciate you guys hanging out
Oh,
with
and
us.
guess what? Nate loves that sounder.
Oh, I'm glad he
course he
was in
does.
courtside last night in Stockton. Hey, it's Juice Mason. It's Morgan Reagan. We're here 11 to 2, Monday through Friday, right here on Sactown Sports. If you're driving around right now, appreciate you listening. You should also, when you get home or if you're on your phone, you're hanging out in the office, go to youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 because we have the live stream up. We have a chat that's going. The chat is amazing. You can chat with other fans, just hang out, have a good time. If you're there in the chat right now, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Just helps the channel grow. I mentioned this. We got Noah Eagle coming up to talk Kings and Clippers tonight, a big-time game. Last night, though, the Grizzlies were in Philly. They had a lead late. The Sixers come back and win the game. I'm mentioning this because we're talking so much about like the fact that the Clippers are a game and a half behind Sacramento headed into tonight's game.
Yeah.
You realize now the Grizzlies only have a 2-game lead on the Kings for the number 2 seed. All of a sudden, the number 2 seed is in reach. Do you realize what the Grizzlies are doing right now?
What are the Grizzlies doing right now?
Since January 20th.
Yeah.
They're 4-10.
Oh, how long has Steven Adams been out?
Great question. Since January 23rd.
Oh.
They're 4-8 without him. During this 14-game stretch, by the way, they're 26th in offensive rating. Their next 2 games, their home games against Denver and the Lakers. So this is, like Denver's starting to separate themselves in the West at the number 1 spot, but that gap now, everyone's been focused on the number 3 seed. I think other teams are going, man, this number 2 seed could be in reach.
Yep.
I also want to mention this. We had peak Kevin Harlan last night on the TNT broadcast. Listen to the end of the game here.
Oh, I'm so
Kevin
glad.
Harlan on the call for Sixers Grizzlies. Sixers end up taking the lead. God, I love Kevin Harlan.
Saving it, not crossing midcourt. In the corner for the lead. Harris! Morant in a thicket of defenders. No! Loose, diving, collision. Harden, Embiid. Oh!
I love that.
It can bring a tear. No color analyst cutting in there, allowing the fans to be a part of it. Harlan with the most energy.
To appreciate what he did, okay? How many words did he say during that stretch?
7.
Morant into a thicket of defenders. Ball loose on the ground to Embiid. He didn't say Embiid with the. He goes Embiid. Ah! You felt the emotion. That's how you do it.
He's an artist. He's an artist.
Oh man,
it's beautiful. Mwah. Kevin Harlan, I love you.
Embiid last night, by the way, had 27 points. 19 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 blocks. He said after the game, for me, like I always say, defense is more important for me than offense. Even tonight, I could not make any shots, especially the ones I usually make. But defensively, I thought I had to be Bill Russell tonight to be able to kind of balance it out.
Okay. I love Joel Embiid, and I think there's times, and I mean, I've been a part of it too, where I get down on him. I get frustrated, especially when he goes down on the ground and then he's out of like the next few possessions, or you know what I mean. But truly, you feel his passion for the game, and that's what I truly love about him. Love. And he's great.
I mean, the other night after the All-Star game, Michael Malone, who called it like one of the worst games he's ever watched, was highlighting how hard Embiid was playing and how Embiid was trying to implore the rest of the guys to play defense. It didn't work too well. But yeah, I mean, I think Embiid's trying to make a push here to be in that MVP conversation. I mean, he's in it. He's been the runner-up the last couple of years, Jokic winning. And I don't know. I felt like when we were getting to the MVP talk, I thought like there's no chance Jokic was going to win 3 in a row. You know, there's that voter fatigue that comes with it. But it almost seems like the opposite. Like they want to give him it for a 3rd year in a row. I'll just say this. Embiid's been awesome. So was Jokic. When they went head to head, Embiid was unbelievable. And then you see last night against a good Grizzlies team.
Embiid turned it on purpose, though, when it came to playing against Jokic, because he knew what was at stake. He knew what voters, were looking at. And I love that about him, too, right? It's not to say that he's not turning on the other games, but it's like he knew what he needed to do in that game. And Jokic is just so consistent, so himself. It doesn't matter when it is.
Hey, Morgan, you know what's coming up next?
What's coming up next?
The Kings play their next biggest game of the year tonight in Los Angeles. It's Kings and Clippers, and coming up next on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline.
Yeah.
Folsom Lake Honda,
your one-stop Honda shop.
Noah Eagle, Clippers radio voice, will be joining us live. He's one of the best in the business. I call him a rising star. No, he's already a star. He's 25 years old. He's a stud and a half. He'll get us ready for Kings and Clippers. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Alan, how many NBA stars will sit tonight? I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't even know.
Do you not like the NBA? Is that why you're saying that?
I can't believe you haven't even tinkled.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this new thing where I just hold it until the end of the show.
I like that.
I'm not doing that. I actually need to go.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
Have a good time, Deuce.
Okay, chat. Let's see. All right. Where is... Okay. Ready, Chris?
Ready.
Do you ever feel like you have to pee, cannot hold it in, waiting to relieve? Do you ever feel like you cannot drink, fall asleep, and then you hear the kitchen sink? Do you know that there's still a bathroom plan? 'Cause you're a grown man. You just have to hold tight and bite and think right. Just hold it in like it's the middle of the night. 'Cause baby, you have got to pee. Gotta stop drinking tea. Make yourself go, go, go before the damn show. Do you know that there's still a place for you? It's called the men's bathroom. It is waiting to... He will never know. Hey, Deuce.
Hi.
All right.
Hey, Chris. Chris, that StreamYard link you sent me,
yeah.
If I log into it, can I see it with my, can I just be a viewer so I can see Noah's face?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotta figure this out. Because I feel like it always wants to show my face. How do I... Entering studio?
Yeah, your camera will still be on, but I'm not putting it up there.
But then he'll see my face. Well, I can just stop cam. Okay, I'm just going to put Deuce. All right. Mute. Enter studio. I see. Oh.
Yes, I love this. I'm so glad we're able to see him.
Because I've just noticed the last couple of guests, I'm like trying to watch delayed on YouTube, and it's weird.
And then we're like trying to get their
vibe.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube chat, how we doing in here?
I think we're doing great. I think we're
not, because we're not at 150 thumbs up.
Oh,
So no,
let's get to 150 thumbs up. Brett, there's no pee shame. There's pee empowerment here.
Deuce needs to see a doctor? Why?
You pee a lot, bud.
What is this?
Oh,
what is this tank? I drink more water than you have probably in the last year.
More water than you have in the last year. That's
with this one jug.
Light the pee. Light the pee.
Chris has Amazon packages getting delivered here.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Why?
Just don't get it.
Because if I had them delivered to my house, I'm not going to be home, and then someone can take it off my porch.
Someone doesn't trust.
Yeah, porch.
I live in
pirates?
South Sac. Yeah, I don't trust it.
Porch pirates.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Okay.
We got the Kings Roundtable coming up at 1, by the way. Chris Watkins, Frankie, Cartoscelli will be here.
Oh, I got to tweet out about it.
Oh, Cowboys coming on?
Cowboys coming on, man. What's up, JG? Jaime, Tin, Tall Chinese guy. Appreciate everyone being here. What's up, Brett?
Did you tweet about Noah?
I've got it scheduled.
Cool. I'm going to.
Stud.
You stud. Oh, I like it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. 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 Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
5 seconds, says Chris.
5 seconds.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings had a slow start against the Blazers last night, but they were able to get the win 133-116. Kings had a couple of records broken yesterday. Domantas Sabonis got his 7th triple-double of the season, which passes Rajon Rondo, the most triple-doubles in a season in the Sacramento era. The other Kings All-Star, De'Aaron Fox, also added his name to the Sacramento era record books with his 5th 30-point game in a row, passing DeMarcus Cousins, Chris Webber, and Mitch Richmond, who all had 4. For more on last night's game, go to SactownSports.com and check out our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli, breaking down everything from the Kings win. The Kings won't have much time to think about tonight. They are back in action when they take on the Clippers in Los Angeles. You can listen to tonight's game with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7:30 right here on Sactown Sports. 12 o'clock, Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. And now it's time for more of Deuce and Mo with our guest, Noah Eagle.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Oh, yes. A big-time battle tonight. Kings, Clippers in Los Angeles. A second night back-to-back for a Kings team. Trying to hang tight in the Western Conference, holding on to that number 3 spot, but right behind them, creeping up from behind, the Los Angeles Clippers, who have been clicking recently. Kawhi Leonard playing at a high level. Let's not waste any more time. Let's bring on an absolute stud. Morgan, this is one of our favorite people.
One of our favorites.
He is a superstar.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's going to love these compliments. You know, you just love when people pump you up. Let's see.
Keep going.
Obviously, the Clippers radio play-by-play voice.
Uh-huh.
Part of Big Ten Saturday night. He's done the NFL on Fox. He's done the NFL on Nickelodeon. He is a stud and a half superstar in the building. Let's welcome him in. Noah Eagle. What's up, Noah?
Guys, I woke up in a fog this morning. I really wasn't sure I was going to get through a rainy day in Los Angeles. And then you said the Clippers are creeping, and so am I. I'm just happy to be here, and now I'm ready to run through a wall. So let's do it. Let's get into it. I feel official now. I'm on the show. This is big.
Dude, I appreciate you joining us, man. We do want to get into the game. I do have to ask you a couple of questions, though. When did you know you wanted to get into play-by-play? Obviously, your dad is amazing. He's a great play-by-play guy, too. Did you know, like, when you're like 3 months old that you wanted to do this?
I was actually created in a lab. Al Michaels was overseeing some weird process, and they took some DNA from my dad, plopped it in, and combined it with Spiroditas. And so we're a weird amalgam of people. No, I think that it's funny because most people just expect that I wanted to do this real young. But when I was a kid, like 6, 7 years old, or maybe even older, maybe yesterday, I told people when they asked, I'd look them in the eye and say, I want to be a TV dentist, which I think I invented in my head. You know, I think it was like Dr. Phil combined with like filling a molar or putting in a crown, which I realized nobody wants to sit at home on a Wednesday afternoon and watch that. Or maybe you do.
Honestly,
Maybe.
I mean, think we have Dr. Pimple Popper. Like, you could still
That's what
do
I'm
this. I mean,
saying.
you could still do play-by-play and do this TV dentist thing.
No,
I like that.
please stick to this,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just had a real thing for Chip Skylark from Fairly Odd Parents and his shiny teeth. I don't know, but eventually I made the switch. I would say I was about 13 or so, and from 13 years old and until now, I've been kind of full steam ahead.
God, no, I mean, you are so good at what you do. We have enjoyed listening, watching you. What's your favorite part about calling a game?
Well, you guys know the feeling is mutual. I always love seeing you guys, especially after a win. There's nothing better in terms of energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and everything in between. In terms of calling a game, I think that for all of us, the reason that we get into this is because there's a cap or a limit on what our own abilities on the court or the field or whatever playing surface it might be is. And so for me, knowing that I'd cap out on 5'8" on a good day, maybe if I'm really, stretching out and with limited athletic ability, just being there is really the reason that I wanted to continue to be around. And so my favorite part is actually being in the environment. And then calling the game itself is challenging myself. I like to see how many different uses of words or verbs or adjectives that I can come up with. How creative can I get? How much uniqueness can I bring to a broadcast that someone who's maybe listening in the car has to say to themselves, did he really just say that? Or as John Stark said in the Reggie Miller 30 for 30, did this dude just did this? That's kind of where I'm trying to get.
How much feedback does your dad? I mean, I'm sure he gave you a lot early on, but does he still give you feedback? Will he hey, I was listening. What was this? Or what's your kind of relationship going back and forth? Because I mean, obviously you're doing this at a professional level now.
Yeah, Deuce. I mean, it's kind of how you would expect. I think it's no different than any other mentor-mentee type relationship where early it's a lot of back and forth. Early it's a lot of questions on my part of how can I get better at framing this, or what should I be doing in my preparation process that maybe I wasn't doing before. And then I think naturally anybody who does something a lot, and that's really what I always tell anybody who asks how to get good at this is it's no different than playing the piano or becoming a great free throw shooter. You got to do it. You got to do it a lot. You got to pour a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears into it. There's no real secret formula outside of that. But I think as time grows, I have less questions and I just kind of go out on my own. And he's real good about understanding that I need to, quote unquote, spread my own eagle wings and do it myself in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I know he's always there. And if he hears something, he's not shy about saying it and being very blunt about it. So I've got some thick skin.
So you got the Clippers gig, I believe, when you were 22. Was that overwhelming at first? I mean, obviously it's exciting. You're working for an NBA team, but what was that process like? Did it feel like a lot at the time?
It was definitely different. It was a little bit of an adjustment because most teams you go to in the NBA, especially now, they're going to have a lot of guys who are 22, maybe even younger. But I was pretty much I think the only player who was younger than me was Ivica Zubac, and it was only by a couple months. I think everybody else on the team was pretty veteran status. Even our young guys like Terrence Mann were a couple months older than me. And so I got there and I was expecting this camaraderie of maybe youth. And it wasn't necessarily there, but I was always an old soul, always considered myself an old soul. I was the kid going home and watching Family Matters for no reason, or I'll go even Different Strokes. I was watching at a pretty young age, because that's the type of person I was. So call me what you want, TV, dentist, or broadcaster. I knew I'd be able to relate to pretty much anybody.
Okay, now I need to know before we get into Kings Clippers, is there anything else that you have a hobby or something else that you're doing when you're not watching games, when you're not calling games? Because I feel like a lot of us in this world, when we're passionate about the sport that we are calling, or many sports that we are calling, it's like we are watching so many broadcasts, listening to so many podcasts. There's not even time for other things. But what is it for you that you do?
Yeah, no, Morgan, I do think it's important to be well-rounded. And so I love TV, music, movies, memes, as you guys know, sharing memes, finding other memes, new memes, old memes, memes of all sorts, ultra meming. But I do love TV, movies of all varieties. I try to keep up with every show that's happening, which is hard during the season, especially. But I do my best to stay current, and definitely music wise, I'm always listening to whatever's new, staying up to date with that. Movies wise, I try to, we got the Oscars coming up in the next couple weeks. I'm trying to check up all the Oscar nominated either movies or performances. So I just watched the Elvis movie the other day. Stuff like that. I definitely I'm all in on that type of stuff. And then hanging out, the normal. I'm a normal guy. At least I tell you I'm a normal guy until you actually meet me.
Dude, I feel like your dad does a lot of that stuff because he drops references in his calls too. I'm like, okay, he's keeping up here.
Yeah.
No, he knows. It's not fake either.
No.
It's not fake. Although there have been times where sometimes he'll have to come to me and ask me, what's the deal with this guy? And then I give him the lowdown, and now he's all in. Now it's like hitting the ground running. But he's had moments where maybe he's been in the car with some analysts. I remember a story he had where he was driving from one game to another with Greg Anthony, where they had like back-to-back games they had to go, and they're listening to music. And I think a One Direction song came on, and my dad started singing along, and Greg looked at him like, this isn't going to fly. We're going to have to move on. And so he put on Drake. He goes, all right, I like this. This is fine. So he can hang in all sorts of genres.
That's amazing. We get Kings and Clippers tonight. Really excited about this game. I'm curious from your perspective. I know you got a lot going on, but I don't know what your impressions of what the Kings have been able to do this season right now at the number 3 spot in the West.
Deuce, I don't know if you remember our conversation from last year before the game in Sacramento, where I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like this could be the year. I've always been a huge fan of De'Aaron Fox. I loved Halliburton at the time. And I mean, I know you guys have probably talked about it a lot. And I know I talked to the guys in Indiana about it. But is that like the most fair trade in NBA history? I mean,
Yes.
it's actually crazy, right?
As of right now, Noah, it feels like absolutely yes, it is. I think sometimes for us in Sacramento, we still look at it and go, okay, down the line, though, if Tyrese Halliburton is, becomes something that's even better than, what he's showing he can be right now, it's just scary when you think about giving up that player. But for what it's getting right now in Sacramento, what we need, and to stop and end the playoff drought, yes, it's feeling very equal.
And it also, what Sabonis has done is he's made De'Aaron better.
Yes.
Just like on and off the court, the leadership. So, yeah, it's crazy to think that way. Usually there's a winner and a loser when it comes to a trade. And you're going, wait, both these teams look like they're heading in a pretty good direction.
Yeah, no, I really liked what I've seen. I think Sabonis just continues to be so solid. You know exactly what you're going to get out of him pretty much night in and night out, with the occasional sprinkle triple-double like last night. Fox, I said going into that draft, that was the dude. It was always the Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox conversation. I always loved Fox. I just thought he was a gamer. If you watched him at Kentucky, you knew he was going to come night in and night out. He was just going to continue to do everything he could in every ounce and shred of his being to find a way to get a win. I love Kevin Huerter. And I will say the X factor to me, and finally people are starting to see it, but I think he has a personal vendetta against me. And maybe this is just my ego getting away, but Terrence Davis has to hate Noah Eagle. I mean, it's happening now time and time again, where his coming out party in college was against Syracuse in the NIT. And that was my sophomore year at Syracuse. And that team came into that season ranked, I think, top 15, coming off a Final Four appearance. And they had a disappointing year, but they were the top team in the NIT. They should have rolled through that tournament. And Terrence Davis came into the Carrier Dome and just lit them on fire. He had 30 points in the game. He hadn't had a scoring outburst like that at all at Ole Miss before that. And then sure enough, every time he plays the Clippers, I feel like he's trying to absolutely end their franchise. I don't know what he has against Noah Eagle, but if you guys could ask him, like, hey, our friend, our buddy, he's got some issues. Maybe just go easy on him every once in a while. So I'm a little worried that he's going to go for like a 45 piece tonight. But other than that, it'll be a fun game.
By the way, you say you're worried. You're not worried. I feel like the Clipper second half of back-to-back. The addition of Westbrook, I do think, he's gotten a lot of crap, obviously, with the Lakers run. But I feel like he got too much of it. I feel like in this environment, he feels wanted. I think Ty Lue is such a great coach. I actually think the Westbrook addition can help this team.
Well, you mentioned the key to me, and that's T. Lue. I think you guys have seen what Mike Brown can do in terms of giving players confidence we've seen Tyronn Lue do it time and time again. Now in his third year with the team, I can go down a long list of players that have come in and were down on their luck and then have turned it around in many ways. Terrence Mann was with the team and barely played as a rookie, just didn't have that level of confidence that he needed. And then he came in and scored 39 points game 6 against Utah because T. Lue kept propping him up or putting him up on a pedestal that he needed to get to. Same with Reggie Jackson, same with Nick Batum, same with Amir Coffey last year, Brandon Boston at times. He has this way about him of getting players to buy in and more impressively, I think, giving them the confidence they need to play to their fullest potential. So if anybody can find the untapped potential or create a different role or whatever it might be, I think it's Tyronn Lue. But I think that Russ is going to help with a lot of what the Clippers still lack, which is rim pressure, pace, getting out in the open floor, creating fast break opportunities. They're one of the slowest teams in the NBA, and they really have been the last 3 years. So to have somebody that can rip down a rebound and take it coast to coast and find open shooters is going to be a welcome sight.
And that's scary. Think about possibly adding that missing piece, having Ty Lue, bring him, elevate his game to another level, especially while Kawhi Leonard seems to be playing in a really good rhythm right now. Would you say he looks just healthy and back to old Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, he's certainly showing a lot more glimpses of it. In January, he put together one of the best months of basketball that I've seen. He averaged 28 points. He was shooting like 55% from three. It wasn't even just from the floor. I think he was shooting almost 60% from the floor. And he was postering guys. Like, to me, that's the clear sign of when Kawhi is feeling like himself, is when he's willing and able to attack the rim, but do it with the intention of, I'm going to put this on your head. Yeah. Not the intention of, let me find a way. No. This one's going directly on your noggin. And we've seen that a couple times, especially against San Antonio, at a couple just emphatic slams. And so it's still a process for him. If there's anybody who's going to take it day by day and meticulously pick it apart, it's him. But I think he knows that he's gearing himself up for April and beyond. And we're just starting to see the beginning stages of that, which is exciting. So yeah, he's got some moments where you're looking at and you're saying, this dude's still a top 5 player in the world. And that should be scary for the rest of the league.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like with the moves they made at the deadline too. I mean, we talk about Westbrook, but adding Plumlee, adding Bones Highland, adding Eric Gordon, their depth is just insane. I just think they've got a really versatile team. That's why I think it's a tough matchup for Sacramento tonight. One, yes, I can have it back-to-back, but just their ability to switch, their ability to defend at a high level. This is why people think that this could be a championship contender.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the ceiling should be a championship for this team. I will say this about tonight's matchup, though, guys. No Ivica Zubac for the Clippers, and we know that Sabonis can certainly do some damage. Mason Plumlee has struggled in foul trouble since he's gotten here in the first 2 games he's played. Now, he's been stupendous. He has not missed a shot from the floor in those 2 games. He has not missed a lefty free throw either, which has been my favorite thing to watch now that he's on the Clippers. It was infuriating that he was making all these lefty jump shots and free throws before he's on your team. And now he's there and you're like, that's my guy. I like that. I like the lefty delivery, but they're going to need him to play huge. They don't really have another option at that center spot. Moussa Diabate is a rookie on a 2-way contract as a second-round pick. So he's been solid in spot moments, but if Sabonis has his way, the Clippers could be in trouble. However, if Sabonis is neutralized and they can play more of a spread offense, 5 out, it could be trouble then for the Sacramento defense.
Yeah, and that's one of my fears, though. Obviously the Kings, they rely so much on their offense, and I think about the Clippers, even without Zubac in the middle, you still have guys that aren't going to allow De'Aaron Fox to get to his spots. And that's what has made their offense so special as of late. I mean, him and then obviously Sabonis in the dribble handoff and getting to his spot at the high post or wherever he wants to be right in that area. So I would say I fear the Clippers defense in the way that they can alter this Kings offense. Do you think that's something that is going to be going on tonight?
Yes and no. So the Clippers defensively were top 5 for a lot of the season, top 10 certainly in defensive rating for almost the entire season. They've dipped all the way down to 11. And the reason is their offense has been so good that their defense has fallen a little bit by the wayside. If you look at the last month or so, their offense has been one of the best in the NBA. And certainly in these 2 games since the trade deadline, they have been the best in the NBA. They've been unstoppable on the offensive end. But defensively, they haven't been as good as they want to be at the point of attack. That's something that Tyronn Lue has really talked about a lot and stressed to his players of you got to keep that man in front. And so there's nobody, I think, more dangerous in terms of speed right now with the basketball than De'Aaron Fox. So it's going to be a good test in his first game in a Clipper uniform for Russell Westbrook. Can he stay in front of De'Aaron Fox? It's a good test for Eric Gordon, who has proven that he's locked in defensively in his first 2 games, had 2 big steals against the Suns, 2 big steals against the Warriors to basically seal those games before the All-Star break. It's going to be a good test for someone like Norman Powell, who through most of his career has been a very good defender, but has struggled at times this year and would be the first to tell you that, and the first to tell you that he needs to get better. So I'll be curious, first game back from the All-Star break for these guys after a week plus off. They played more games than anybody in the NBA for the second straight year, guys. This to me was a crazy stat. Second straight year that the Clippers have played an NBA record 61 games before the All-Star break. So they only have 21 games left to the home stretch. So we'll see if they lock in.
I also love that Noah mentioned that the Clippers have dipped to 11th defensively.
When he said that, I was like, that's so cute, Noah.
Noah, if the Kings were 11th defensively, we might have a parade down J Street. Like, yeah, let's go. It's 11th. If the Kings get to 18th, we're like, all right, let's go.
I don't know if they'll slow down De'Aaron. They're in 11th. Okay, Noah.
Yeah, listen. Here's the thing, though. But the Kings are averaging 119.7 points per game. That's by far number 1 in the league. I don't want to hear about your defensive rating if you're scoring at that clip. Because guess what? That means all your games are incredibly exciting. You don't have any 98, 95 final scores, all right? You don't have to worry about the sub 100 games.
Hey, how much time have you spent around Steve Ballmer? Because I just watched him from afar and watching him during a game. That guy's pure entertainment. He's so energetic. Have you spent a lot of time around him? Is he that way all the time?
He is 100%. So I interviewed with him for the job. And
oh my God, you're 22 interviewing him. Oh my God.
Yes, one-on-one, me and him, mano-a-mano in a room, 90 minutes, just back and forth. And it was awesome. I mean, he is the guy who's the smartest guy in the room, but you would never know it. He's the multi-100 billionaire that if you didn't know who he was, you'd be like, oh, wow, he lives in a nice house. And that's it. Like, it's not even all that crazy. He still drives Ford cars because his dad worked at the Ford plant his entire life. He's loyal. I don't even know where he gets those button-down shirts, but if he got them at Nordstrom Rack, it wouldn't shock me. Like, that's the type of guy he is. And I remember my favorite part of the interview was towards the end, you always get asked, do you have any questions for me? And I said, well, yeah, what are you looking for in a broadcaster? And he goes, someone who's hardcore. I'm like, yeah, I can be hardcore if you want.
That was a great Ballmer, dude. You got a Ballmer impression? Are you kidding?
You got to. Listen, impressions are important. Earlier, I was talking to some kids and telling them this Mike Tyson story about how he was watching Friends, and then I just go, "Oh, rule off," and they lost it. They lost their mind. So I'm having a good impression day,
dude. No, you're amazing. I know the next time you come to Sacramento, I think is late March, but you play the Warriors the night before. I was already looking because it's like, oh, we got to take Noah out.
We've been wanting to take you out to dinner for a long time, Noah.
Yeah.
Listen, it's long overdue. The real question is, when are you guys taking the show on the road to LA? And we can really do it up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe for the playoffs.
Oh, I like it. I feel it's destiny, right? It's destiny that this is happening. We've got the West Coast battle coming up in the playoffs. Come on, guys. Will it? I need it.
Yeah, I'm scared of that, though. I'm scared of that.
I know.
Noah, thank you so much for the time, man. We'll do this again soon. Appreciate you so much. And obviously, you're amazing. We love you, man.
Thanks, Noah.
Guys, this was an honor. Thanks for having me.
It's the one and only Noah Eagle.
Yeah.
Dude, he is so good.
No, he's so good. Even his impressions. Like everything about him. He probably crushed that 90-minute interview in a room with Steve Ballmer because he can just go.
Imagine that. It's like, yeah, you got an interview for the Clippers job, which is already kind of overwhelming. And like, yeah, you have to sit down with Steve Ballmer. Oh, man.
90 minutes.
You have to talk to a certified insane person for 90 minutes and hope they give you a job.
And for those who don't know, like he does the Clippers, but he does tennis. He does NFL games for Fox. He does a Nickelodeon game, which he's really good at.
Yeah.
But, You've seen Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
he's so good at I mean, he did a Niners game this year, and then he did a Nickelodeon game like later on.
College football. I was watching him do a USC game. He does college basketball. It's honestly, as someone who does play-by-play, just basketball.
Yeah,
it's disgusting how talented
I
he
agree.
is.
And then
It's
when he
disgusting.
sort of like, oh, and then like I'm trying to catch up on TV and movies and stuff like that. Like, where do you get the time for that?
You want
Seriously.
what's annoying about him?
What? Yeah. Let's talk bad
What's
now.
annoying?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy too.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy, and he's so funny. Oh, I hate him.
We appreciate him stopping by today. All right, well, we got a lot more to get to. Of course, he joined us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Morgan. Folsom Lake Honda.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Appreciate
Better?
that. Yeah, that was okay. That was okay. We've got the Kings Roundtable coming up at 1. Don't go anywhere. We're always live on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Let's see here. People are okay. People digging Noah.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
could you
dude.
not?
I'm telling you, he's an easy guy to like.
Like anytime he's in town, we're like, can we take you to dinner? We just want to be your friend forever.
Let's get the 200 thumbs up too, please.
Where are you taking him?
Probably I would try Mulvaney's probably with him. Unless
Or
he
Crew.
was, if he was a sushi person, I'd go Crew. Like you got to NBA or I'm sorry, like professional sports broadcast. You got to go high end.
Well, here's the
You
problem.
gotta spend
It's
that.
not. It's not just the high end factor. It's like, hey, Sacramento actually has some cool spots because Chris,
Yes.
people around the league, shockingly, act like Sacramento has like a Yard House
Yeah.
and maybe I don't know a Jamba Juice. You know what? And no disrespect, it's like no, you gotta
like.
Hey,
those.
let's go to Midtown. Let's go to Snug.
You got
I'm the opposite of you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want them finding out about those places.
Why?
I don't want anybody to find out about Sacramento.
Why?
We're already dealing with the people come from the Bay. Now you have people from around the country wanting to
No,
come to Sacramento.
I don't want them to like move here. I just want them that when they come to
Appreciate.
Sacramento, it's not like I'm gonna go to Sacramento for a Kings game. You know, we're on the road. It's like, no, oh yeah, there's this great spot here. If I didn't work in broadcasting, I might work for the city of Sacramento as like
True.
the advocate, the
you
Paul
would.
Heyman of Sacramento.
No, I take Noah. Hey Noah, come on, let's go to the Limelight. Let's go get some wings at the Limelight now.
I mean, it's not that wouldn't be a bad nightcap.
no, that's me.
nightcap.
I'm-
Nightcap. That'd be a nightcap. Like, yeah, there's some great like feel play like you'd want to go to like Cupro's and then maybe you'd go to like Snug for like a nice cocktail. Shady Lady.
Go to Cupro's, get a
Cupro's a nightcap.
get a roulette. Okay, let's get
Beer roulette.
Oh yes. That's fun.
Yep.
That's fun. And if they're like winos, trying to think of a wine, but there's a new place called like Betty or something. And it's a
is that
Elizabeth, you mean?
no,
is that
nope,
Danny?
it's Betty. It's a little wine bar. That looks
I
so
saw
cute.
that Joe said Jim Denny's is reopening soon with the former owner of South. Is going to open a
That's
spot there.
cool.
That's great. Someone asking if those spots are expensive. I mean, Mulvaney's and Crew definitely more expensive dining experiences,
Yeah.
but like Snug, that's a good. I mean, they're not cheap cocktails, but they're great craft cocktails.
Yeah.
I
Oh
want
yeah.
I want a soccer bet where the loser had to pay for Mulvaney's for the winner,
dude,
and it was the best.
Right. It's like
Mulvaney's with their their fresh mozzarella.
oh my god, they pull it.
Oh yeah, it's like putty.
Yeah. Yeah, but tastes
Like no, it's good.
Yeah.
I've never chewed on putty.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I probably have when I was like little.
When you're acting like a dog.
Yeah. When I was 7 years old, 6. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I love trying to think of places I would bring people. Oh, Rochambeau's a great little wine bar.
The one thing that I didn't like about it, though, they had all this wrestling memorabilia, and I thought they were big wrestling fans.
And they're not.
They're not.
But they
Where?
like
Rochambeau is that wine bar on Jay.
next
is it
to
Jay?
like Babes and Ginger Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That's cool.
You
Rick's
got wrestling
Diner.
memorabilia there.
Yeah, like cool
Like
wrestling
old school
memorabilia.
figures, and you're like, oh, they've got
Really?
like, oh, there must be. And what was the story behind that?
It was one of the people that, or it was how they came up with the name or something.
No, the name was they're trying to come up with a name.
And they
like,
were
"Look at
doing
this
Rochambeau.
And like, we should name it Rochambeau.
And it's like simple, genius, cute.
Their original plan was 1 potato, 2 potato.
Yes. Good. Good. 1 potato, 2 potato.
I just finished a nice croissant.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize how much I like croissants.
Oh my God. When they're done like that, when they're flaky.
I don't like the flaky.
Almond croissants?
But but they're doughy on the inside.
You haven't had one
like
from
you
Temple.
Yeah.
I can afford Temple.
It's the same price as all coffees.
I can't afford coffee.
I mean, do you get black coffee?
Huh?
Do you drink black coffee?
I actually don't drink coffee anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
That's terrible.
Oh, no, it's not. Yeah.
Like the first couple weeks is just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But then like you get used to it. It's like, oh, maybe I didn't need that all the time.
I started relying on coffee and I go, if it makes me happy, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, like occasionally, like a Saturday or something, I'll have a cup of coffee with somebody, but.
Wow. With who?
Myself.
You said with somebody.
Yeah, you did say, thank you. Good job.
Like if someone's just like, oh, let's go grab a coffee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I spice. If there's one thing I spend more money on than anything, it's coffee. That's what I spend money on. That's it.
Yeah, I think for me now, it's more like because I have zero time to cook and make food. And I never thought I would ever be that person that buys food takeout. I'm buying more takeout than I ever have in my life. Just don't have time. I have zero time to cook.
I stand by.
I need a private chef.
Hey, hit the thumbs up in the chat. Let's get to 200.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings had a slow start against the Blazers last night, but they were able to get the win 133-116. The Kings had a couple of records broken yesterday. Domantas Sabonis got his 7th triple-double of the season, which passes Rajon Rondo for the most triple-doubles in a season in the Sacramento era. The other King All-Star, De'Aaron Fox, also added his name to the Sacramento era record books with his 5th 30-point game in a row, passing DeMarcus Cousins, Chris Webber, and Mitch Richmond, who all had 4. For more on last night's game, go to SactownSports.com and check out our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli, break down everything that you need to know. Kings won't have much time to think about last night's win. They're back in action tonight when they face the Clippers in Los Angeles. You can listen to the game starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7:30 right here on Sactown Sports. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
You're damn right.
Damn right.
Mason, Morgan, Reagan, Christopher Lott, baby.
Baby.
On Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 p.m. Happy Friday to all of you out there. Kings and Clippers tonight. Shout out to our guy Noah Eagle who joined us last segment. You can listen or watch that later on SactownSports.com or our YouTube page, youtube.com/SactownSports 1140. We got Kings and Clippers tonight. Huge game. It's going to be a big-time test, and the Kings are coming off a really nice win last night. Did we miss anything about last night's game? Oh, we did. I'm going to answer my own question.
Yep. Okay.
I know Keegan only had 10 points last night.
Love that guy.
He showed me a little something last night.
Yeah, he did.
He had that one little behind-the-back dribble, step back, create your shot, boom, bucket. That was nice. He played some nice defense. There a couple of times he was switched out on Shaden Sharp.
Yep.
Super athletic, young guy, 19 years old, who you could see he's got potential to be something for sure. But Keegan did a nice job there. He had some nice help defense in the game.
I love what we see from Keegan as a rookie. I don't get caught up in, but he's an older rookie. It doesn't matter. Like, look at his size, look at his skill set, look at his mentality, his coachability. Everything about him is absolutely what you want in a young player and in a young player in this modern day NBA. My favorite thing is his size and his ability to shoot from deep, right?
Yeah, and if he can put the ball on the floor
Yep.
and then create space like he did with that play last night, you start seeing the potential of, oh my God, this guy could be really special. And if this Kings team is going to take another leap, you're always talking about, all right, how do you get that other guy on the team? You got to have stars. You got to have stars. Well, maybe it's the guy that's already here, the rookie who's going to continue to develop. And he's shown he's coachable. He's shown flashes. You mentioned the shooting at his size. Ooh, one of my favorite, it wasn't technically a highlight, I guess.
Okay.
But when Sabonis was bringing the ball down floor, went behind the back with the dribble, thought he was going to lose control. And then he whips a behind the back pass immediately to Keegan Murray, who missed a three.
The timing, the feel of it. It was so beautiful, not only for Keegan to be in the right spot at the right time, but Sabonis, the way he dribbles sometimes, it's just with
scares the hell out of me.
It's no.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes, but most times he figures it out, dribbles with authority, has such a good feel of his handles. So when he had the behind the back dribble and then behind the back pass back to Keegan, he knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't fluky. It wasn't like a big just being like, whoa, let's luckily get this here. I hate those
That's what bigs
moments.
do sometimes.
Whoa,
you see
know
some
what
bigs in
I'm
the
talking.
league, whoa.
And it somehow gets to the next person. Yeah, no, it was it's incredible watching Domas Sabonis right now, especially last night, like we kind of talked about early on, his intensity, his physicality that he brought last night. Anytime he had a dribble handoff and how he would seek out the guy that was defending the person that was taking the dribble handoff from him. It was just a quick feet set, boom, brick wall.
I don't know. Maybe I'm making too much of this, but do you think that type of stuff, especially when your best player is playing that hard all the time, playing injured, I have to imagine it fires up the rest of the team because Fox is playing more physical than he has ever played on both ends. Playing some volleyball last night.
Deuce, when you set a standard, it doesn't matter if it's with a basketball team, if it's within a classroom.
It doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter where it is. In media, if you set a standard, people will follow. People will be inspired, and especially when it's your teammates, people will get a little competitive fire under them too and go, oh, I'm going to play. If he's doing that, I'm going to do that. If he's doing that to get NBA minutes or to be in the rotation, I'm going to do the same thing. You feel that from your guys, and I love how this team is really following one another.
It's one thing to do it against the short-handed Blazers. Now you got the Clippers. It's a big test. I don't know.
It is.
I don't know, and I'm not trying to be Deucey Downer here about this team because I'm more than satisfied with how the Kings have played this year.
Yeah.
I see the big picture. I think I see what they're building. It seems like they can make this sustainable, especially as Keegan continues to grow. The level that Fox is playing at, bonus, a lot of guys at similar ages. But I just look at this matchup and go, man, I don't feel good about it. This is one of the teams I don't want the Kings to see in the playoffs. I know Eagles oh, we come down here when they're playing. I'm I don't want to see you guys in the first round.
No, that's the one time I don't want to see your face.
It's probably it could be 4 or 5 games, and I don't want that. I want this team to have a chance to get out of the first round. I'm not trying to say I want to dodge that, but my point is I just think it's a really tough matchup tonight, and I don't know how the Kings are going to handle it. It doesn't mean I don't think they can. They got to prove it. And it's been a while since, the one game that kind of felt like a playoff game recently was that Saturday night game against Dallas on the second night of a back-to-back when Luka and Kyrie played.
Incredible. And it
did. But this Clippers team defends, and I just feel like a team that defends and plays physical. Noah's over here saying they dropped to 11th in defensive rating. They're still really good.
Not only do they defend and have high quality individual defenders in Kawhi Leonard, big, gets his hands in passing lanes. Obviously, Paul George, we know what he can do as a two-way player. But you look at Kawhi Leonard, in his last 17 games, he's averaging 27.6 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists. And I know you mentioned some of these numbers, and 1.9 steals. So almost 2 steals per game. That alone, with this Kings offense, you saw their sloppiness at times last night. I mean, they finished with 18 turnovers in the game. Some of them unforced, some of them sloppy, but at times just some of them just lazy moments. You cannot have any of those letdown moments against a locked-in Clippers defense. I don't care if they're 11th.
One of my Kawhi Leonard moments that I'll never forget is when he took the ball from Ben McLemore twice in a row. Remember? I think it was Ben's rookie year.
Remember this.
And it was one of those moments where I'm showing it to Morgan right now. Kawhi just like rips the ball away, takes it all the way and one. And then the next play down, he steals it again. And I mean, he just was like, I am better than you. I'm ripping it away. And then he took it on him again and got fouled. It was disgusting.
Better than you, and you
know. If I'm Mike Brown,
know
what I say, my edges.
What?
I go to my guy TD and I say, listen, TD, I was listening to Deuce and Mo earlier and Noah Eagle on. He was talking mad trash.
Yes.
He says you've got nothing. You're not going to do anything in LA. Yeah, you've had a couple good games. You're getting 0 tonight.
I love this idea. Someone clip it, pass it along to TD, and let's get him a 50-point game tonight, baby. Let's go.
I want to look back at Terrence Davis's career. I'm looking this year. He didn't have big numbers against the Clippers. Wow. Last year in 2 games against the Clippers, 25 points a game. In those 2 games. That's pretty good.
Oh,
that's
really?
pretty amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, not much this year. Anyway, we'll talk more about the game coming up next. Plus, some NBA players had some things to say about what they would change about the NBA.
Ooh.
And we got story time with Chris Verlade, baby. Plus a Kings Roundtable with Chris Watkins and Frankie Cartoscelli. That's coming up at 1 right here on Sactown Sports. Jesse in the chest says, we ain't no punks talking about the Kings. All right. Paul says, Kawhi took Ben's soul. He was never the same after that. I still felt like Ben.
He found a little groove with Portland.
But the problem with Ben was not ready to be a starter in the NBA. And they just went, hey, go on in there.
And they didn't develop him.
I'll be right back.
Let's see, chat. Yeah, you have time. I got it if you don't. It's Tingle time.
I should have played the new one.
Yeah. What'd you think? We didn't get to talk. Do you ever feel like you have to pee, cannot hold it in, waiting to relieve? Do you ever feel like you cannot drink, fall asleep, and then you hear the kitchen sink? Do you know that there's still a bathroom plan? 'Cause you're a grown man. You just have to hold tight and bite and think right. Just hold it in like it's the middle of the night. 'Cause baby, you have got to pee. Gotta stop drinking tea. Make yourself go, go, go before the damn show. Do you know that there's still a place for you? It's called the men's bathroom. It is waiting to... What if I started tearing up? Hey, Deuce. Hey, Deuce. Oh, that's funny. Oh, my God. That person is so funny. Laughing at...
I really like that, what she did right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, Deuce.
What's up?
How you doing?
Let's see what she was saying while I was gone.
I wasn't saying
Another
anything.
instant classic. What could she have been saying? Probably taking shots at me left and
What could
right.
she have been saying, huh?
Such a fraud. All I do is support you.
What?
And
You
uplift
literally
you.
I have a natural cycle going on, and you asked me if it happens every month, why haven't I gotten used to it? So yeah, much support, Deuce. Much support.
If you're in the chat, we're 6 away from 200 thumbs up. Let's get it going.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Oh, I was watching AEW from Wednesday. I don't know when did you start watching it?
I just kind of had it on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the Orange Cassidy match, it was good in the beginning. Yeah. Well, what was good after that?
MJS promo. Great.
Oh, Usually.
And a pull apart? How do you hate a pull apart?
I'm just going to... No, I've seen that a billion times. It's just cool. I wanted something new. And then stop saying big announcement. Stop saying big announcement when it's not a big announcement.
I'm for that.
I'm like, oh, big announcement, Tony Khan. I'm actually going to hand it to Adam. I'm going to be careful. We're going to have AEW people on next week. In fact, for people, I don't know how many people in the chat even watch wrestling or AEW, but we do, and we care about it. Eddie Kingston is going to be live on the show on Monday, dude.
1 p.m.
And honestly, even if you're not a wrestling fan, look up Eddie Kingston's piece in the Player Tribune. You will become an Eddie Kingston fan.
Yep.
Right, Chris? Is that fair?
Oh, yeah. Like, he is 100% my favorite wrestler.
And why?
In AEW. Just because he's like, when you hear like, oh, I'm playing myself turned up to 100. Stone Cold. Oh, I'm playing myself play up to 100. Eddie Kingston was like, I'm playing myself up to 11. I'm giving you just a little bit more, but it's just like he feels like the most real person.
And it feels that way.
Yeah.
That's
Like
So
I legitimately want him just to do good every single time he's out there.
So why have they buried him?
Oh.
Well, he's been quite honest. He's been going through some things and trying to get some stuff right with himself. And I think it's one of those things where you just work with him. But I mean, his match with Jay White in New Japan was like incredible. I love Eddie Kingston.
CM Punk was there, believe it or not.
I love Chris's passion for Eddie. I didn't realize when we booked him that Chris loved him that much.
I mean, he's legit.
No, he's the first moment I saw him come out and he was just rocking that mic and it was just so super authentic. With Cody, right? When Cody was having random people come out.
Yeah.
It was that moment I was like, oh, this guy.
Also, does he real? Is it real? The MJF stuff real? Like, does he not like him?
Maybe.
Okay.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Yes, Kings, Clippers tonight. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We got story time with Chris Verlaud coming up in a few.
Hell yeah, we do.
We also have the Kings Roundtable starting at 1 from 1 to 2. We'll have me, Morgan, Frankie Cartoscelli, and Chris Watkins in studio talking Kings.
Oh yeah.
From 1 to 2, then you got Cattles and Rami taking you all the way up to game night. And we got Kings basketball.
I keep forgetting there's a Kings game tonight that we keep talking about.
Yes. Morgan, I was mentioning this. I was looking at The Athletic today, and they asked players at All-Star Weekend what they would change with the NBA. And actually, Fox and Herter had answers.
Oh, what would they change?
Herter says, it's a really good question. I think the league has implemented a lot of things recently that have been great for it. The play-in, I think it's had great energy. It's tough. We do have so many games. We have 82 games. I think it's a lot of games this season, but it's always been like that. So then the person kind of pressed, I'm like, well, you don't want, you want fewer games? He goes, the back-to-backs, I don't think anyone necessarily enjoys, but it's always been like that. So the travel that they've limited this year, we're playing more of you go to a city and play a team twice in a row. So I think the league is always changing and doing it for us. I don't think there's one thing I'm necessarily going to change. So very diplomatic answer by Kevin Herter. I'm with you. I don't like back-to-backs.
What? Well, okay.
Why
from a selfish standpoint or from actually, no, from every standpoint.
Every standpoint. I mean, I just think of quality of game. I think the biggest challenge that gets overlooked sometimes is these arenas just aren't like basketball arenas.
Yeah.
They have to schedule concerts and shows. And sometimes, like in LA, they'll have a hockey game at noon, an NBA game at 7. The next day, they got a Lakers game at noon. So it's constant changeover. So spreading out a season logistically can be challenging.
Well, what I will say too about back-to-backs, if you factor in every single thing, let's just say as a fan, you're watching a team, you're committing a lot of time in 2 days to watching that team. Even though, what if you're still going off a high of the first night with them and you're like, oh, okay, I don't even need to watch this. I have to get to other things. I have another part of my life. And then for people like us and covering the team and broadcasting and everything, it's just, it feels like an overload of I don't want to say content, but it feels just like an overload of like not enough time to break things down, if that makes sense. I wish there was just like spaced out for that point of view. But then you look at the players, it's like it's a physical thing. It's a mental thing. Like they have to put so much energy into that second night to be able to push through and perform at a high level.
De'Aaron Fox was asked about what he would change.
Yeah.
I don't know, just because a lot of people talk about the 82 games, but 82 games has been played for so long. I don't think that should be tweaked because now you got to tweak the rule books and record books and all the other things. Truly, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. I'm a player. I just go out there and play. Try to play as many games as I can. I think I missed 5 games this year, so let's hope I don't miss any more. Okay. Very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic.
I need these guys to actually take some sort of hard stance. Pascal Siakam was asked this question.
Uh-huh.
Any guesses at how Siakam answered this question?
I'm gonna guess.
Hey, here, let's play this game.
Okay.
I'm Mr. Athletic Reporter.
Okay.
Hey, Pascal. What would you change about the NBA?
I would change nothing.
Okay.
Chris, what's your Pascal?
Hey, Pascal. What would you change about the game?
I would change everything.
Oh.
His real answer was, no, bro, I'm just here.
Oh, in between. Really in between both of our answers.
You were a reporter. You're like, I got to get some stuff. Maybe I'll get some insight. Hey, Pascal, how do you feel? No, bro, I'm just here.
The thing that you were talking about, Morgan, like shortening the schedule, I've heard people talk about it, and there's still this fear of just like, well, they're still going to rest players. Like,
yeah, and I understand that's what people say a lot of the times, like, oh, well, no matter what, they're still going to find a way to rest. And I go, but why? Like there would be a clear reason why you wouldn't need to rest players and why there could be more rules around, hey, not resting players, you know?
Yeah, I think you would have to get the Players Association on board.
Yep.
Right.
To be like,
that's a challenge.
And then you have to put penalties on players.
Exactly.
Good luck.
I know.
We can talk more about that next hour on the Kings Roundtable. But before we get there, it's Friday. We need a little story time with Christopher Laud, baby. Bring it on. This is Christopher Laud. He brings us stories. You never know where we're going to go with this. Sometimes it's morbid. Sometimes it's disgusting. Sometimes it's just lighthearted fun. What does he have in store on this Friday? Welcome to Story Time with Christopher Laud, baby.
Christopher Laud, baby.
Baby!
So, I did have a negative one. Cutting it today.
Okay, all right.
Friday, we're going to have some good. So, do you guys want an animal story?
Animal.
Jeez. Animal it is.
Yeah, I like animal stories.
St. Louis, KTVI.
Oh, no.
The St. Louis Zoo was on lockdown after Ben, an Andean bear, escaped his enclosure for the second time this month. Ben was found not far from his enclosure in a river like walk area of the park, tranquilized and put into a different enclosure. Didn't hurt anybody. People saying him like, hey, it looked like he was just having fun.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
Drinking a few beers.
This was the second time he's escaped this enclosure. This enclosure has been around since 2016. No bear has escaped except for Ben, who was born in the Queen Zoo. So you can't lock a New York bear up, apparently. They have tried several times to make the fence stronger, but he keeps getting his way out.
Do we have footage of this? Like, how is he getting out?
There's a couple pictures. So he's basically peeling the cage apart and just walking out.
This is where it gets deeper, and I just start.
What's deeper?
Well, because like some zoos feel sketch to me.
Really?
You go to a zoo sometimes, you're like, is this legit?
Which zoo have you gone to that you felt that way?
Folsom Zoo.
Yeah.
Folsom Zoo feels a little weird. Yeah. It just feels like, is this a prison for animals?
So I've got a source that has been to the St. Louis Zoo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, me. I've been to the
zoo. Oh, okay. Okay.
And
St. Louis is a terrible city to begin with. It's very nice. The zoo is very nice.
But they got that arch.
The arch is terrible.
Ooh.
You get to go up in the arch and you get to look at the beautiful view of St. Louis.
Damn.
But the zoo, yeah.
I remember going there. My aunt and uncle lived there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, a few months ago, a cheetah jumped out of the enclosure, which is like walking around.
I'm sorry. So are they going to put up more than a few baby gates, or what are we going to do for these wild animals?
That's insane.
That's insane. Well, I'm glad that the bear's okay, but honestly, why don't you just like put a few more like layers of gates or something?
Or just let them loose.
Yeah, just let them loose.
Hey, let nature run its course. You know, see what it does.
I actually have another animal story.
Oh, let's go.
Please.
And it's a follow-up.
Oh.
To our friend in New York. This comes from the AP. Remember Godzilla, the alligator that was caught in Brooklyn? Well, it was rescued from Brooklyn's Prospect Park. The alligator is recovering at the Bronx Zoo and is too weak to eat on its own. It needs to be tube fed. The alligator weighs 15 pounds, but should be 30 to 35 pounds at its length. So they're taking care of it. They're trying to get it back on track. They took x-rays of the alligators. It is estimated to be 5 to 6 years old and has ingested a bathtub stopper, which means if you look at that, it was most likely a pet
in a bathtub,
someone's residence.
And they just put him in the bathtub.
And then they
hate people.
Then they just took him to the pond.
I wish this alligator ate
that person. Yeah, they
their
find
children, their mother, their father, all of the above.
No, because then they would put the alligator down.
Yeah,
and they shouldn't, because they shouldn't have owned the alligator in the first place.
So I'm big on retaliation, right? Like, we're gonna find the owner and we're gonna force that owner to eat a tub stopper.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Bathtub stopper. Is that what you said it was? A bathtub?
Yep.
Yeah, you're eating that.
How much do you live in a bathtub for a while?
Yeah, you're gonna live in the bathtub
naked, just in a bathtub.
All right, I can get to this story.
Yes.
This is gonna give us all a high. Just like, oh, maybe one day, United Kingdom. This comes from the NPR. How long will the 5-day work week last? Well, if the nonprofit 4-day week global keeps getting results like this, it might not last much longer.
Oh, come on, please.
A pilot program included around 2,900 workers at 61 companies, varying from nonprofits, manufacturers, finance firms, even a fish and chip shop. And that ran from June to December. Businesses were told to give the employees 4 8-hour weeks, 4 8-hour days in the week, or if that's not possible, give people a 32-hour work week. Or if that's not so give them 32 hours a week.
Yeah.
It was such a huge success. 46% of employees said they were less fatigued. 60% said it was easier to balance work and responsibility at home. And resignations dropped by 57% in the UK when they're having a mass quitting at that time.
Okay, so so many things with this. Look, we are more efficient than ever.
Yeah.
And we're going, you must work 8 hours a day.
And sometimes it's got to be 10 hours.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It was also good for business. Revenue increased by an average of 1.4% over the study period. Of the 61 companies that took part, 56 said that they would continue with the 4-day work week. And of the 18 of those, plan to make the shortened work week permanent. 4-day work week global has conducted similar trials in the U.S., Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Brazil, and other countries.
Bring it on.
America?
And they will share the results from those pilots in the coming months.
America?
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
hilarious.
That's so funny.
Well, thank you so much for story time with Chris Verlod. Coming up next from 1 to 2, it's Kings Roundtable time. The guys who are in Salt Lake City covering All-Star Weekend. Chris Watkins, Frankie Cartoscelli in the building to talk some Kings basketball. Kings and Clippers tonight. We'll talk about it next here on Sactown Sports.
It's so wild when these studies go on and people still just like don't go in that direction.
Yeah.
Obviously in our business, it would be very different and we still wouldn't be able to, we could have a 4-day work week here, but not really in anything else because we work like 7 days a week. But it just would be so much healthier the world would be a little happier.
Absolutely.
Oh, Frankie, Chris, come on in, my friends. Oh no, don't worry. I don't have a song about your mother today. No number.
Your mom liked it though.
She loved it.
Every time they win, they say like the beam for Frankie's mom.
We've been DMing on Insta, so we're friends.
Oh,
yes.
That's great.
Isn't that?
Yeah,
we've been talking about our little Frankie. Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks, Chris.
Oh my God.
What was that?
It's It's these headphones that are really.
Oh God, I've done that sometimes when the sports update comes on. It is so piercing loud. The music, and it's just so loud, and I'm gonna throw up everywhere.
Big game tonight. Big game tonight, Frankie.
Huge. Last time
I don't
Chris,
hear you yet, but
I
I
should
think
do
it's because
that.
it's not up in the other room. It's all good. It's all good.
Last time I made a prediction though, it didn't go very well, so I'll just kind of.
Hey, Chris,
Oh wait, I'll think on it.
you want me to do it? So then you don't need to. Thanks. I was like, no, you actually did. You actually did a great job.
Hey, people in the chat, number one, hit the damn thumbs up button. Thank you. Also, if you guys have questions or comments for the Kings Roundtable,
Concerns?
drop them here, man. Drop them here, or you can call us at 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Like, look at this 3D print of.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that from Dave?
Yeah,
Dave, like, oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
I need
You got a little light to go.
I need to get one of those. You guys have two?
It's a little mini one. Yeah, he gave us these little mini.
You broke it.
Yeah, that's not broken. It's
You ruined the
supposed to
beam.
open.
It's
supposed to open.
Yeah, do you know how to close the roof? You got to close the roof and you put the beam back where it was. It's like a little kid with a puzzle. Is this your first time have you done a puzzle before? Like
No,
the
I'm
blocks are
honestly
like-
terrible. I'm like round peg, square,
Round peg,
whatever. Yeah,
square.
exactly.
Frankie's having a great hair day.
Oh,
you can't see he's wearing.
Who said that?
This is Chris. Just so you guys know,
They don't
Chris
see
is.
color. It's okay.
Well, people keep saying it's like people keep getting weirded out that I'm wearing a hat. Am I not allowed to wear hats?
No, I'm wearing one. And you don't wear one all the time.
I don't.
Nick Cattles, I think, is his surgically attached?
I think it is.
Chris is the only person who has seen Nick's actual hair.
No.
Yes.
It's glued in.
Morgan, is that your name? Why am I seeing this light in this shot?
let me change that, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You peasant.
Was that Quasimodo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris is having a great hair day.
There
is
we
what
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Potentially going to go soon. I heard you guys talking. Morgan got her hair done. I heard you guys talking about.
did. Thank you.
got
Looks
your hair
great.
did.
What are you gonna do with it?
See, I'm my whole life just buzz it off, go 1-2 or 1-0 fade,
Yeah.
super easy. You know, just wake up. You don't have
Yeah.
to care about your hair. But everyone always tells me they love my curls. My girlfriend loves my curls. My mom loves my curls. My sister loves my curls. So all the
Your
women in
curls
my
are
life
dope.
are just like,
Frankie,
you cannot get rid of them. And
Does
I'm
Frankie's mom like your curls?
My hair's like, well, your curls?
Yeah.
Or my
Yes,
curls?
Chris's.
No,
Chris's.
I'm sure she would like your curls. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
No,
Maybe
it's
Frankie's mom.
it's true, Chris. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why when guys have like good hair,
Yeah.
work with it. I know it's a little bit more work, but
Yeah.
do
I
it.
think I just need to trim it down. Like it's just it's
Brooke
so
is
much.
in the
I
chat.
don't know
Brooke
how
is
people
suggesting
do
a faux hawk.
Whoa.
I probably did that like in high school. I think my dad used to cut my hair all the time.
If you're
Trying to
gonna
look like
tri-
Beckham.
like back on, yeah.
if you are gonna trim it down, I'm not kidding. You need to go to a serious hairstylist though, and not like
A hairstylist.
Yeah.
How about
because
a barber?
Curls are not easy to cut.
You
Oh,
don't
no,
know
no.
In
anything
style.
about barbers. You act
My
like you're
best friend is a hairstylist,
and she's
and
is she a barber? Because it's different.
I know it's different, but I'm saying for curls. Why are
You're-
you saying a barber knows a lot about curls?
Barbers deal with all types of hair. Are you
So do
serious?
hairstylists.
Okay, Morgan, you sound so ridiculous right now.
I sound ridiculous.
I just want to apologize to barbers who watch this because she doesn't respect your craft. She just thinks
I
barbers-
literally talk about skin fades like you are an artist. I understand barbers. No, we are not coming back.
we get a chill update right now?
No. Oh, yeah.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings had a slow start against the Blazers last night, but they were able to get it turned around, and they won 133-116. The Kings had a couple records broken yesterday. Domantas Sabonis got his 7th triple-double of the season, which passes Rajon Rondo for the most triple-doubles in a season in the Sacramento era. The other Kings All-Star, De'Aaron Fox, added his name to the Sacramento era record books with his 5th 30-point game in a row, passing DeMarcus Cousins, Chris Webber, and Mitch Richmond, who all had 4. For more on last night's game, go to SactownSports.com and check out our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown of the entire game. Kings won't have much time to think about that. They are back in action tonight when they face the Clippers in Los Angeles. You can listen to the game with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7:30 right here on Sactown Sports. It's 1 o'clock. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce and Mo with the other men for our Kings Roundtable. Chris Watkins, Frankie Cartoscelli.
How do you like that, Mo?
You know,
Deuce Morgan and the other men.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, but like they have names too, Chris.
You just called me Little Frankie though, so do I count? I mean, does that
Our little
count?
Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankito.
It's Deuce Mason.
Frankicito.
Not helping.
Frankicito.
Not helping.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Kings Roundtable time. The other voices, Chris Watkins, and of course, Frankie Cartoscelli, doing amazing work. They were just in Salt Lake City for All-Star Weekend. You guys did some great stuff for, of course, the social media platforms, also at SactownSports.com, where Frankie did a piece today previewing the big game, Kings and Clippers. Frankie, have you ever thought about going by Frank as you get older, or are you just Frankie for life?
I tried it like for a little bit, mostly Franklin. Like the first year covering the Kings, I was Franklin on like Twitter, and I told people like Franklin. I thought it was
I remember that.
professional, and then I realized that it's just I don't know who that is.
What about Fran?
Who is
Fran?
he?
I don't know.
Like Fran Fraschilla?
You know, all my friends do call me Frank. I think it naturally will happen, but I'll never say I'm Frank to people. I think
Unless you're being Frank.
Unless I'm being Frank.
Just to be Frank.
That's actually a good segment idea.
That's something
Let's
that
be frank.
Let's be frank.
my girlfriend Allie's been telling me for years. I need to make like that a show or a segment or some kind
your
of thing.
clothing line.
Why
Could
don't
be a
we-
clothing line. Yeah.
We'll make it a segment on within this Kings Roundtable that we do.
Of course.
Why not?
Of course. First of all, you guys were at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was exhausting because those type
Very
of events are like nonstop. You know, you guys were at all the events, right? Practices, the Rising Stars, the G League game, All-Star Saturday night, All-Star game. What was that experience like?
It was crazy, just like you're saying. It was nonstop. Like I was exhausted by the time I got back on Monday, and it was. You mentioned it. Like we arrived there on Friday. Keegan Murray has his Rising Stars practice. Then he has the game. We wake up on Saturday. Then it's Kevin Herter media availability for the 3-point shootout. Then it's East-West practice. Then De'Aaron and Sabonis come out for their press conference. Then we have to drive all the way across town to the main arena for the actual festivities themselves. And it was just a rinse-repeat thing. And we weren't getting out until like 11 o'clock at the earliest every day.
Yeah,
from the arena.
huge shout out to Matt George and Kevin John from ABC. They were chauffeuring us around for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But we kind of wanted to. We do our post game work and we'd stay and wait for them because they have their news breaks and all that stuff to do. And they got out pretty late. But
What a wild duo. I mean, how do you keep up with those party animals?
We don't.
We do not.
Yeah.
They are full systems go all the
They
time.
look like
man.
they're very like unsuspecting people. Matt and Kevin are like insane.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
They're just constantly at each other's necks. Just
It's lo-
just-
it's with
like
love,
you
though.
two,
With
but
love.
just like
No.
Kevin's like the
I
nicest
swear,
guy ever.
I swear,
It's not like it's not bad though. It's like funny. And
Yeah.
it's light,
yeah.
And
It's all funny.
I haven't
It's
laughed
very
that hard.
wholesome.
It's wholesome.
If it's
Oh,
Kevin
no,
John,
not all of it's wholesome.
okay,
to
I
be
could picture
honest.
Kevin
Wait.
John being
Yes, I
very
swear.
wholesome and like
Does
just
he have
only
darkness?
funny. Yeah, but does he have darkness to him? Because this is great.
Well, it's like humor, like dark
Yeah,
humor.
I don't know if it's darkness.
It's
but
dry,
yeah,
dark
definitely.
humor, which I love.
Ooh.
Dry, dark humor, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And
He's great. I love it. He's got such great energy.
oh yeah,
He's literally like the
nicest.
the nicest person.
Yes.
I would say Jason Ross is the nicest person, but him and Kevin are like toe to toe
I mean, we were
nicest people I've ever met.
Agreed.
we were waiting for them one night. We were waiting. We were going to go to the media hospitality thing, and Kevin was doing his work on the court. And we were saying, what's taking so long? And we looked down, and he's interviewing this kid with his
Literally.
parents, interviewing him, and I think he ended up airing it. But this
Yeah.
kid wanted to know what it's like to be a news broadcaster, and he spent the time to interview the kid and bring them on camera, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
So
here we are. at
big
the
shout out
top,
to Kevin
just being
John.
like, what the hell is Kevin
So-
doing? Like,
Yeah.
does he not know we're trying to go?
They made it enjoyable.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Kevin John. just to be
Yes,
clear.
huge
Yeah.
shout out Kevin John.
maybe a little bit to Matt.
specifically Kevin.
A little bit to Matt George.
a little
Yeah.
bit, only a little bit, because his dark side really came out.
yeah.
Well, Salt Lake City brings out the worst in Matt George. Let me tell you.
What was your favorite part about All-Star Weekend?
So obviously being a part of the environment is super cool, and seeing all the people, kind of like we got a taste of it in summer league, and this is kind of like that, but more. I mean, all the biggest stars, like during the media availability, everywhere you turn, there's Kevin Durant or Jason Tatum or whoever down the line. But one thing that kind of stuck out to me, which is kind of weird, is me and like becoming a basketball fan. I didn't know this at the time, but I mean, when I grew up, Bird Magic, like that whole storyline and like them coming up through college and then 79 final was such a huge kind of turning point to me. I used to watch that over and over when I was a kid on like those NBA history documentaries, like on VHS. And I went to the John Huntsman Center at University of Utah. I had no idea that it was the place. And my Uber driver on the way to the airport, I'm leaving, is like, yeah, like that building has a lot of history. Like that's where the 79 NCAA final took place. And that completely just made like the whole flight home. I was just like, and I'm happy you got video there and like pictures there and stuff. Cause I was like obsessed with that game. And that to me, looking back, was like a really cool aspect of it. But obviously all that goes in NBA All-Star, the dunk contest too. But that part I'll remember forever for sure.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I didn't know that until right now. So that's kind of, I wish I would have known that.
You guys didn't like talk when you were hanging out? Like what?
No, not really. It was mainly just Kevin and Matt. Like, and we were just like observing. Yeah, it was a lot of like.
I would just love to have like I wish you guys would have recorded that whole weekend.
They deserve a TV show.
They do.
They need their own TV show. No reality TV show.
They really do.
It's really good.
Did you guys like go out to like?
Oh yeah.
Anything,
well, there's like media hospitality, right? So like we go to that, but it ends so early in Utah.
Right.
Last call is like 12:30, so we get done at 11:45. So we're only hanging out for 45 minutes.
Time out.
You guys talked to the
did
wrong
those
people.
events? Yeah, because I was going to ask, like those events weren't. There had to be NBA players and other people going out late in Utah, right?
Charles Barkley's birthday was. I think they were like, "Hey, let's wrap it up. It's 11:30. Last call." No way.
I think Saturday was the night where that was at like the legit. That was at like an actual bar. The first two nights were just at a hotel in the in the conference room or whatever. But on All-Star Saturday was actually the night where they had it at a bar. It was super cool. They had the Larry O'Brien trophy on display, so you could just walk up, take a picture with it. All that stuff. But we saw Dr. J leaving that day. And like it was definitely in like behind curtains and all that. But to me, I agree with Frank. Like the coolest part was definitely, we're basketball junkies, we're nerds. We follow, we read people's articles and stuff. To see like people that we legitimately admire just like standing 5 feet away from us was awesome. It was just insane.
That's great, dude. I'm so glad you guys got to experience
so happy
it.
for you guys.
We're thankful to get the chance to go.
Definitely.
What was the worst part?
Yeah. I'm so glad that's where I was going.
And don't say Matt George.
Last call was
tough. I know we probably shouldn't be talking about this stuff, but last call was tough. I mean, just because we were working all night and then we get done. So we want to hang out and get the full, like, you want to make connections and mingle with people.
Right.
And then by the time we got out of there, it's like, it's over. And, all the people we'd be around, like Sean Cunningham and the Jason Andersons, we'd all just kind of have to just hang out in our little corner until people cleared out and we'd leave.
Don't you love that they're talking about, hey, we're building connections, and all they're doing is hanging out with
the same
Sacramento?
people.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
We didn't get we met some people.
Yeah.
We did meet some people.
The people you admire.
Name drop now. Name
I'm
drop.
not gonna name drop.
Name drop it, Frank.
We
Come
always
on.
name drop.
Please.
Okay,
I was so hyped for this.
I'm a big I like Rob Perez. I've always loved Rob Perez's work.
Cool.
You met him.
I met him, and he's
Worldwide
super
Rob.
cool. I
Okay,
was
met
kind
him
of
at
afraid to
Summer
approach
League
him.
a couple of years ago. Kind of awkward though, huh? He very like socially, like you. It surprised me because he's so outgoing as a streamer, personality, NBA, but he's a little chill in person.
It just seemed like he didn't want to be like bothered, which I was telling him, like, I don't want to bother people. He was on a couch by himself, and I'm like, I don't want to bother him.
That was my read on him.
And I walked by him and just said, hey, like, I don't want to bother you. I like work, and I used to write, and I used to read your writing. I watched like the police chases he does. We used to entertain me during the height of COVID. I'd be watching those, and just I get the notification, and I'd scream, "Birds are in the air!" I could tell how birds are in the air. So it was cool talking to him. He was really nice. A lot of complimentary things to say about Sacramento, and he said he was so happy for the fan base, and how he said it was impossible to hate the Kings if you're an NBA fan. And I just kind of said I hope the Kings don't kind of fall into that Grizzlies neighborhood where they're young and up and coming and they get cocky, but I don't think the Kings are.
No, they're not.
They don't have that
But
personality.
he was super nice guy.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so
cool.
glad.
Who was on the show last week who was saying that Mac McClung was going to win the dunk contest?
I thought all of us.
I think we all did. I definitely did.
Or not you? Did you say Jericho Sims?
I did say Jericho Sims,
dude.
I
was
put my arms
I
in
was
a
like,
ring.
dude, can you? We got it. Play a different song. Like, okay, you could. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's just didn't really play the first time. I don't know why. He was like, you know what? We should run that back.
Could you guys feel that for the dunk contest in the atmosphere when you were in the arena? Like it wasn't like when things weren't landing or something?
I don't know if I'll go that far because it was all, especially leading up to like the skills competition was trash. The 3-point shootout was kind of a dud.
Get rid of the skills competition.
Yeah,
they need to get rid of it.
What is it? It's just
they're
like,
just throwing balls
this
at
is the point.
There's like doing dumb. It's all three of them at once, just throwing balls in that big target. It's like, what is there's no
Hey, I'm
fundamentals
telling
to
you,
this.
if you really are trying to change it up, if you could get some players to just buy in on Saturday night and do a one-on-one thing, it'd be kind of fun. Just a one-on-one, like have a couple of one-on-one games. It doesn't have to lead to like the one-on-one champion, but like, dude, yeah, these two went
They
head
tried
to
the
head.
pig though. That was terrible.
What did we talk about though?
Yeah, we want the shooting stars back.
We want shooting stars
back.
back.
Was that not the
Wait, what was the shooting stars?
where it's a current legend and a WNBA player, and
then
they
like a
shoot
D-list
from the
celebrity.
shots? No, it's just
That
three
could
of
be
them.
a different cap.
That could be a
Add that-
you
that
can
could
add
be a
that as
cap.
well. Sure, we can add Hassan Minaj to that list.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
He's not D-list. He's definitely not a
Excuse
D-list,
me.
but he was there. I'm just saying he was there.
Yeah.
To me, that's at least more exciting. It ends in the half court shot, so you get the natural, big ending. But if they feel the need to have 3 events, I would much rather see that than, like Frank's mentioned, like just because the last portion of the skills competition where they're literally just chucking the ball into the big hoops. It's just didn't play well in person. I can't imagine it played well on TV, where it's like, especially in person, you couldn't count like the points that were going on. So
I don't understand.
It was very erratic.
All right, coming up next, we got to talk more about the Kings and Clippers tonight. We'll reflect back on last night's Kings win over the Blazers. I do want to ask you guys about the vibe at All-Star. They got the All-Star game too. We'll talk about that. It's the Kings Roundtable. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Not KJJK says the top players would not agree to one-on-one. No way. They're too cool for the main game. Yeah, but that's the thing. I actually don't think you need the top players to agree. Like, I think what you would see if guys agreed to go one-on-one, I think it'd almost make you appreciate even some of like the rotational guys in the league, because these guys got skill. Yeah. If you got some legit one-on-one guys going at it, it'd be fun.
And think about it, when you're playing one-on-one with something. Not me. I wasn't one of those people playing one-on-one. I hated beating people one-on-one. I think because I know this sounds weird. I was usually the better player on my team. Throughout high school and stuff. But like for some reason with the one-on-one, so I didn't like it. I didn't like king of the court kind of stuff.
Imagine if you had like Malik Monk against Bones Highland.
But see, they would go at it because they don't want to ever prove, like, they don't ever want someone to show them up and take them all the way to the rack. They're like, no.
How about like back in like the 70s, 80s, they did horse. I mean, that could be bad though. If the shots aren't falling, that could be really boring.
Or knockout. Play knockout.
Knockout would be interesting. I think the problem is just like effort. Like even in the one-on-one thing, like. Well, they'll say they don't want to get hurt. They'll defensively. I'm sure it'll be
a little something.
I feel like you got to do something that they already like to do. Like,
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
The Kings Roundtable, Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Chris Watkins, and Frankie Cartoscelli. We're talking during the break. We always stay live, by the way, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. We're talking about, all right, what ways can you juice up the All-Star weekend, maybe one-on-one? I know you guys were both at the game, too, on Sunday, the actual All-Star game. On TV, obviously, did not play well, right? The draft seemed like it took an hour. And then for you guys, after a long, long weekend, you get the All-Star game, maybe you're a little bit excited, like, all right, what's this about? Was it boring in person? Like, what were the vibes like in the arena?
It was bad. I mean, it was for a while that fans stopped cheering.
They did.
They really stopped cheering. I think you pointed that out to me, and they did. I mean, unless it was like a crazy play, and there were honestly like maybe 2 or 3 plays where you're like, whoa, like LeBron had a big dunk, and I think we're there to watch the Kings. We're there to watch Sabonis and Fox. And one thing that stuck out to me was, and it goes to the Rising Stars game too with Keegan. The Kings players that were there. Murray, Fox, Sabonis, they're good team players, team basketball players. And when you're in a showcase like the All-Star game and Rising Stars, I thought Fox would have flourished a little more, just kind of getting the ball off the dribble. He didn't seem to
he wasn't looking to get his.
I think he was a little gassed coming into that break. I mean, he played 38, 37, 39 minutes in those last 3-4 games going to the break. I think he was gassed, needed a break, and securing the All-Star nod, I think, meant the most to him. He got it. And while I think it's kind of a bummer that he was the only player that didn't score, obviously it doesn't really hold much weight. He comes out last night and scores 30 again, but it was definitely a tough watch. I think we kind of lost interest in the third quarter once Fox checked out. We all went downstairs to wait for media availability. And,
Really?
Yeah. Well, they told us, the Kings PR people, they said, as soon as the game was over, like we're coming out. And they did it. As soon as the buzzer sounded, they were right out, and they both had plans. They wanted to go home, and that was that. But it was great experience. All-Star game, not so great, but the rest of the stuff was really fun.
Yeah, I almost feel like, I mean, we can say it countless times, like we were so thankful to be there, but my entire time there, I kept thinking, I just don't think this is worth the price of admission. Like I was just thinking about the people who probably spent, I don't know if they, do you buy per day tickets? Is it a whole package? Like if you're going to spend $500 on, I mean, even, I don't know. I don't think you should spend more than like $200 on the whole event. Like All-Star Saturday can be fun if the dunk contest was as good as we saw, and that was kind of an exception to the rule. But the game itself, there's nothing that you're really locked into. Like if we weren't primarily focused on the Kings guys, I don't think I would have gotten any enjoyment out of the actual game.
So something I said to Deuce when we were talking about All-Star Weekend after, I was like, oh, I felt like a sense of pride when I saw De'Aaron's name being called, or, even in the draft or whatever. Did you guys feel that way personally? But then also, are there enough fans there that are like pure basketball fans, or is it just a whole bunch of rich people with these tickets?
It seemed like it was a lot of Salt Lake residents for sure. Like it was definitely a big Utah Jazz friendly. And
Jen Shaw, was she allowed to be there?
No, she was already reported to prison.
She did?
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh no!
What's the one that's friends with
Heather Gay?
No.
Lisa.
Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow. She was at the game.
She was. She took a photo with Jordan Clarkson.
Her friend.
She's a Salt Lake City.
The biggest ovations from the weekend were definitely Laurie Markkinen and Walker Kessler.
Oh,
that was not the biggest ovation I heard.
Ooh.
What was the biggest ovation?
It was very unfortunate what the biggest ovation of the weekend.
Can you say it?
Was it Carl?
No. It was Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Both of those.
I tuned that out.
So, I mean,
I just
tuned that out.
An incredibly tough look for the city of Utah.
Tough look for the city?
Statues of Karl Malone and John Stockton in front of Vivint Arena.
For the NBA.
I mean,
that was weird, man.
Why'd they bring him out there?
They didn't just bring him. He was paraded. He was definitely he was a feature player of the week.
You can appreciate what he did on the basketball floor, but at that time you have to read the room and just know that's not the move. Not the move to make.
I mean, literally being mentioned in this. I mean, he was brought up on stage with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest social justice leaders that we've ever had. LeBron James.
Right.
Did you see the jokes about it? How Kareem's like, I'll go on the stage, but I'm not touching that guy. Like he's on the other side of LeBron, just completely only on LeBron in the picture.
All of it.
Not ideal.
Weird.
Not ideal.
Weird. And awful that was the case, that was
it was definitely ovation. To me. I mean, that's the loudest one I remember.
Honestly, wasn't even paying attention when he came out there because maybe we were doing something, but I clearly tuned that out.
Do you think people just don't know what he did?
Well, there's a large majority.
I think there's a lot of people
locals.
Who don't.
I think probably. I would imagine. I would like to think that the city of Salt Lake would know.
I think we all heard kind of rumors about this stuff before, but I think this weekend it got pushed a lot more.
Yeah.
And when you read the details, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate the league was pushing it. It was surprising in a lot of ways too. But yeah, I guess it's not surprising he got the ovation in Utah.
Yeah. I would imagine that's probably the only.
Oh, you're right. They put both on.
They put them both on. Yeah, because they were both sitting next to each other.
I mean, Stockton is definitely problematic too in a much different way.
But you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can separate those, I guess.
Both dangerous.
Yes, both dangerous in very different ways.
Yeah, John Stockton is he's hanging out with Alex Jones.
Well, and his teammate Jeff Hornacek.
And
no.
Oh, you guys need to check the app.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Check the Nation app. Please.
You need to check
him and his daughter are all over the Nation app.
Daughter?
I don't know what the Nation app is.
Yeah.
How do you know what that is, Chris?
Yeah.
Seen commercials. Seen commercials.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah. No, I know, Morgan.
Okay.
I was trying to think what I was going to say about
tough transition.
No, it wasn't It was actually related to this.
Oh, great. Look at this.
Steve diving.
I've lost it.
Ah.
It's out of here.
It's okay.
Damn.
Probably for the best.
We're talking about Malone?
And Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hornacek, his daughter.
Stockton, something about Stockton.
You said Alex Jones and you lost your train of thought.
There's definitely dots to
Conspiracy
connect here.
theorists.
I don't know.
Dangerous.
It's done.
Okay.
It's done.
Okay.
We do need to talk about the Kings coming up. I'm glad you guys had a good time at All-Star Weekend.
Yep.
And yes, I was going to say F. Karl Malone.
Oh my God, Deuce.
Coming up next.
Friday, baby.
Kings had a nice win last night.
Yeah.
After an ugly start in the first quarter, they beat the Blazers at Golden One Center, but buckle up. Get the Clippers tonight at Crypto.com Arena. Talk about that game coming up next on the Kings Roundtable on Sactown Sports. What was I going to say?
And were you really going to say F. Karl Malone?
Yeah, I just,
That's hilarious.
It was going to jump out of you.
It like loosely was
Here's the problem I've noticed is just when, especially because we do so much podcasting, podcasting, I don't, if it comes out, it comes out, whatever. And you talk for so long, and then the next day you're doing a daily show. Sometimes you feel like, you're just talking.
It's the same muscle.
I wonder about that with you guys. Like, if there's ever you have to really press that button.
No, and for TV, it's completely different because it's
so
not,
different.
You're not wearing headsets.
Too produced,
you're
right?
holding. It's like completely.
It's very
different.
clear
Where
that
this
you're on
is like,
television. Also, yeah, you're like very aware that you're on television.
Stockton problematic, Karl Malone. I want to remember it.
You remember that? I did have a question for you guys.
Yep.
Did you guys, when you were packing, pick out outfits for like
each other?
No, events and like certain things. Like, were you kind of like, we
Morgan,
gotta stop?
you're
I'm not
not-
talking to you. Did you be like, I have to step up my game because it's like
Frankie
celebs.
wore jeans and a dress.
Shut
No,
up.
Not a dress shirt.
Not a dress shirt.
You did wear jeans.
I wear long
Like a
sleeve,
flannel.
like long sleeve, like
Yeah.
shirts. Like there's shirts. I'm very plain. I'm not very stylish. I think I tell you that all the time. Like I'm very plain. I don't
You're
buy my
stylish.
clothes.
Thank you.
I
I don't
just-
like to think
all
so.
I'm
I'm
gonna
broke.
tell you
I'm broke,
guys-
so it's hard to be broken.
I mean, look at me. I'm wearing a
time.
double XL.
The
Kings.
biggest advice I'm going to
That's
give
stylish, though.
you guys, and now I sound like an ass. Hey, listen to me. No, but seriously, because I used to do the same thing too. You go to Summer League, you go to these events, and you go, Sacramento people, let's go hang out with the Sacramento people. And then you don't meet anybody new. You have to just go and talk to people and meet people.
You have to.
You have to. It's the best time. People are hanging out.
I mean, we talk to like people next to us. But
Okay.
I know that's obviously not what you're saying. It's just something, you gotta,
No.
Like putting yourself out there, like with the Rob thing, I guess. Like that was
That's cool.
That's so cool.
a little intimidating,
Right.
But maybe as time goes on, it'll be less and less intimidating.
Frankie, I'm with you where I'm so like you guys, I'm not good at it. He is good at it and he pushes for it. And he doesn't do it on an annoying level. Like you read the room
I'm not
socially.
great at. You're really good with connecting with people.
What?
I'm kind of like the wingman.
Oh, I feel the opposite, but okay. Like I think I'm socially awkward. So like I'll do, Chris, like I'll do a shimmy shake or something. And it's like, what is she doing? Why is she dancing? She's saying hello, just a weirdo.
I can't do small talk. That's my thing.
Oh,
I can get past the initial conversation, but then once I'm done with, hey, how's it going? This is the purpose of my coming up.
How do I get out of this?
All right.
Well, I gotta go.
Okay.
I can do
I'll
that.
See you later.
And I think that's something I usually will take that bullet for you. Like if we're approached, I always kind of just I can talk to anybody. Just the approach and like the starting of it. I don't want to bother people. Is my biggest thing?
Yes.
I don't want to bother anybody.
Were Kevin and Matt work in the room?
What?
Working like were they bouncing around?
No, they were really kind of just to themselves. They might maybe our eyes were on them the whole time.
The 40 guys, they're Fox 40 guys. They're a little more social butterfly.
Yeah.
Sean Cunningham is.
Who was Sean hanging with?
Who wasn't Sean Hanging?
I mean, who wasn't? Yeah, and Sam Amick was. I mean, Sam Amick. So he was with everybody. Talking to every. He was
Sam's
like surrounded
so
by
good.
people. He was surrounded by people. He was like the cool kids corner. Like it was
Yeah.
Sam surrounded by a bunch of other personalities, and we just kind of walked by. Like I was like, I don't want.
I know what I was gonna say.
What?
Okay,
Boom.
we got it.
It's not even
Oh,
that
we got
good.
break.
I just realized
Well,
either.
Who cares?
Stockton was on Michelle Tafoya's
Oh,
podcast. Have you heard of Michelle?
Yeah.
Dude.
Her transition from NBC to
To Crazy Land?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to look up to her as a broadcaster.
Well, she definitely looks down on you.
Yeah, she does.
hey, shout out to
All right,
everyone
I
being
think-
here live. Hit the thumbs up
I
button.
think you should leave now, Chris. I don't think you're going to beat that one.
Thank you all. Catch me tomorrow,
Have a good
11
one.
o'clock, Kings Weekly.
Yes. Kings Weekly. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's bad.
Wait, are you? Oh, I guess I shouldn't be saying that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Kings Weekly tomorrow, huh?
Yep.
Kings Weekly tomorrow.
After a Kings.
Ooh, that's fun.
Kings.
Clippers are currently, I believe,
Back-to-back win?
6.5 point.
Yeah, that's
6.5.
insane to me.
And the Kings, their injury report comes out 4 minutes. Injury report comes out. We'll see who's available.
Oh.
For the Kings?
Yeah.
Who's sitting?
You never know.
We're not sitting, guys. We're not sitting.
I don't know. Not sitting anybody, but
he's like,
no.
Yeah.
You were a little concerned about Sabonis' hand last night, but he looked fine.
Yeah.
When he hit the net.
I was
other
super
hand.
concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Fox's ankle?
People pointed
saw
that
him
out.
limping,
I didn't notice
yeah.
that. I didn't see that. I mean, I'm just.
Okay. There you go.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Oh, slow it down. We're slow paced. It's Friday. Chris Verlad's got a chill update. Forget that cheesy rock music.
Take it away, Chris.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports chill headlines.
Yeah, you are.
Kings won with a record-breaking night by Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox.
Triple double, baby.
They're playing tonight against the Clippers. Game night at 6.
Say it again.
Tip-off scheduled at 7:30.
Westbrook's debut.
Right here on Sactown Sports.
G-Man on the call.
Now I think it's time for more of Kings Roundtable on Deuce and Mo with Chris Watkins and that Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Kings Roundtable rolls on. Kings and Clippers tonight. Kings with a home win. First game out of the break, beating the shorthanded Blazers 133-116. They've done something they've only done 4 times since the 06-07 season, and that's win 33 games in a season, which is kind of crazy to consider. They go for win number 34 tonight against a really talented Clippers team. Let's go back to last night a little bit. I had this theory. I think I'm right on this.
Okay.
But they had the travel issues with Portland night before on the tarmac for 7 hours.
Conspiracy theory music.
And then the next day they get to the airport at like 9 a.m. They're supposed to leave to come to Sacramento, 90-minute flight. I think during that time, Portland was trying to work with the league to get the game rescheduled. And once the league were like, no, like there's still time. It's 90 minutes away. You guys can play tonight. We're not rescheduling it. They went, okay, we're resting Dame and Jeremy Grant. Dame was at the game last night. Why wasn't he playing? I feel like it was a petty move by the Blazers last night.
They don't even play until Sunday, you guys.
Yeah, why? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever.
They essentially forfeited because they were so upset.
Yeah, I think they were mad that they were just like, no, we shouldn't be playing this game. And even though other teams have done this, the Kings did this last year, traveled on day of game. It's not ideal. It's not a great thing.
It's the first game since the All-Star break.
If Dame needed rest,
yeah.
Why was he even in Sacramento? Just, hey, rest at home. We'll see you Sunday against the Rockets. It was just weird to me, and I didn't like it. I really did.
I like the theory.
Yeah,
it all works out. Like, and it really does make sense, especially after Adam Silver made the huge statement on during the All-Star weekend of load management, saying he's not concerned about it. Well, I mean, I had a friend who had a friend come down from the Bay Area. His favorite player's Dame came down, had tickets, didn't show up
because they're coming out of the break and they listed those guys out due to rest.
Yeah,
that's
straight rest. Yeah,
I think it's a petty thing, but also I was saying this to Deuce. It's a lose-lose because if you're the Blazers, aren't you still trying to get in the playoffs? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, didn't you see Dame on Twitter last night? Someone said, I think it was a Blazer fan that said, let's tank for Vic.
Yeah.
And Dame quoted and said, like, oh hell no.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or hell no, or something like that.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood of people being out, there are no Kings on the injury report other than Casey Okpala, who's dealing with that knee soreness. Kings they're all available tonight.
And the only Clippers player out is Zubats at this point, because I know Jason Preston and Boston were on that. They're with the G League squad.
Yep, Zubats, but just Casey Okpala and Zubats. Those are the big guys. The big heavy hitters.
Yes.
The big guys.
All right. Before we get to that Clippers game, looking back at last night, what was the most impressive thing to you? What was your biggest takeaway from the game, Chris?
Personally, I think.
Yeah, thank you for that. Please, he didn't specify. Didn't
great
specify.
bit.
That was a good bit.
Chris Watkins.
I think it was the fact that they came back. Like it was expected. I never really felt like they were going to lose that game, even when they found themselves down by whatever it was, 18 points to start the game. But it was the fact that they were able to recognize, like, guys, we cannot be in this kind of situation. We cannot lose to this team that is so depleted. We can't even give them the hope of like sticking around for 3 quarters and then eventually pulling it away in the fourth quarter, like we've seen them do a couple times this season. They really did take care of business, and by halftime, I think they were up 13 and really just never looked back.
Yeah, they needed to prove that they could win. And again, we've said this a million times here. Win games you should win. And the beginning was scary, but we've seen it before. I think the games that I like to equate it to are the Dallas game was a game they literally lost in the first quarter. They win the final 3, but they get outscored 45-25 a week ago. The Knicks game early in the season, they got outscored, I think, 43-23, and they won the final 3 quarters there. I just really wanted them to see them. I wanted to see them respond. Like, they got put in a hole. They were coming out of the break. Those are still NBA players in Portland. They weren't players that are, held in high regard, but Nasir Little and other guys on that team, they gave the Kings the business. So I definitely think that seeing them respond was huge. And my biggest takeaway is that obviously winning games you should win, protecting home court too. Only 11 home games left. You have to take care of home court.
I love you talking about them facing that adversity and finding a way to come back and get a win. That's what I was saying to Deuce earlier, how it doesn't feel fluky when they're coming back too, right? It's like they get locked in, they engage, and they know exactly what they need to do. They tighten up their game, they become more disciplined on the defensive end, on the offensive end. And when you see teams capable of doing that, I don't care if it's G leaguers out there or a good NBA team that you're doing that against. When you're down and you're trying to come back up and get the W, it takes something different physically and mentally.
Yeah, and I just think when your 2 best guys try to set a tone a little bit after a shaky first quarter, that goes a long way. Fox was fantastic. Yeah. Fox is just playing. I mean, he's never played better. Just his all around game.
So good.
He's vocal. I mean, that play where he stole it from Keon Johnson and took it to him, shouldered him, probably should have been called for an offensive foul.
Yep.
I think I'm blowing the whistle on that. Looked like he extended the arc.
He did.
Since he's been named an all-star, this guy is going to the free throw line. He's averaging over double-digit free throw attempts. It's pretty crazy. I mean, so that's been such a big time development. Yeah, the all-star game conspiracy theory. Like, you're an all-star now. You're getting those calls. I like how he is playing. Sabonis, of course, setting the single season triple-double mark with 7 triple-doubles. 18, 18, and 10 was outrageous. But last night, I thought the bench, too. They need the bench, man. And Terrence Davis coming in, giving him 20 and 18 minutes. And his post-game comments, I love the guy.
Oh, did you guys hear that?
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was incredible. And it's something that's the most I've ever seen TD really kind of like, peel back the curtain a little bit. I mean, he really had some great quotes.
Yeah, you haven't heard really anybody talk about giving it, like, he really sounded like he was giving it real thought. I think Kevin Herter earlier in the season was on Zach Lowe's podcast and mentioned how he was talking with a friend about, the Kings-Lakers rivalry and just kind of, getting to know the history of the Kings. And that was really the most that we'd heard about, kind of the past seeping into these guys really thinking about things now. But to hear Terrence Davis straight up say, like, during our break time, the time where I think he was in Mexico or in Cabo, or I don't know, but he was vacationing and he's thinking about, like, we're kind of about to do something really, really special. And for the fact that, I'm sure these guys didn't give a damn about the Kings before they got here. And for them to really be caring about our history and, making it better for the city, not only themselves, it was really great to hear. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah. For those who did not hear those comments, here's Terrence Davis talking about that after the game last night.
Everything, I was just talking to some of my teammates and, some front office guys. This is, Sacramento hasn't been in this position in almost 2 decades. And the importance of these last 25 games is just, you can't really put it into words, but going on, walking on the court and knowing that you're in a position to do something that has been done in, almost 2 decades, that should light a fire in you. You know, for me, it's honestly, man, I was on the All-Star break just thinking about it while I was, somewhere else. I was just thinking about it and, trying to put into perspective how important these last few games are. So this is definitely major. This is something, special for sure. We have, like I said, it's been almost 2 decades. So
okay,
it's important, man. This is everything.
The 2 decades.
Gotta hammer that in.
I don't like the 2 decades
Gotta hammer
thing.
that
It
in.
sounds so much worse, right?
I'm like, I got
16
it,
years
TD.
a lot, but 2 decades. Let me emphasize it. 2 decades.
You round up. You gotta round up.
See, that's what motivates them a little bit more. He's like, no, the 2-decade mark is far too long.
We got 4 years to actually make it.
Yeah, come on now.
I just think too, it's players say things, best fans in the NBA, best fans in sports. But when like a player says something like that, you're like, oh, okay. You understand the connection here. You're connected with it. It's not just some phony thing he's saying. It's like, yeah, like you were just referencing. He was thinking about during the All-Star break. He's like, yeah, this is a big deal. And I'm glad they understand the seriousness. And I do get the sense just from the team that they understand the seriousness of this moment. Obviously, with 24 games left, it doesn't mean they're going to start crushing it and win every single game.
No.
But they understand like the importance of tonight's game just to be competitive. This could be a team tonight that you see in the first round of the playoffs.
You can also bury this team. You play this team twice in the next 4 games. You could not lock it up, but you can really put some distance between yourself and the Clippers in the standings. And that could just be massive, especially with, if Kawhi and Paul George can start playing some games together, they're going to be a force down the stretch.
And I didn't realize they play the Clippers again after the games against OKC.
Yeah.
Nice little Clipper sandwich.
Little Clipper sandwich.
I don't like that
Week
sandwich.
from today. I think a week from today.
Wow.
I don't like that. The
Well,
Clippers Thunder
You
sandwich?
might like it depending on how tonight goes.
Spin that one out.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk more about this Kings-Clippers game coming up, including what are some of the keys to this game? How are the Kings going to do the unthinkable?
Oh.
I
a little
honestly,
dramatic.
no, I don't think it is.
Okay. We'll
Do you
talk
think the
about
Kings are winning tonight?
We'll talk
no,
about
do you
it.
think the Kings are winning tonight?
We'll talk about it.
We'll do that next. Deuce and Mo and Sactown Sports. It's going to be tough. It's a bad matchup.
That's what I said. And then
Norm Powell, Eric Gordon, they're just role players.
Yeah.
Morris,
They're stacked.
man, Westbrook, who owns the Kings this year.
Yeah, that can't be.
I think it's going to be. The Westbrook thing makes me feel a little bit better about our chances.
Why?
I don't.
I just think he shoots well against the Kings.
I think he's just not an easy guy, especially to like first game.
Ty Lue,
like this is not. He's
Ty
not
Lue.
Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's a baller. He can fit into just about any basketball situation. Russell Westbrook. I mean, the past 4 years of his career have been because he's not willing to adapt to others.
Yeah, but also think about the situations he was in. Are they great?
They were great for him. It was just him.
No, but
the Washington situation. That was
but
pretty
again,
great.
Washington, it was like let Russ do whatever he wants, right?
That sounds
The end of
exactly like
Houston,
what he wants.
You're playing with Harden, just
what do you want?
That was
toxic.
weird. That was
Going
weird
to
looking
LA,
back at that.
playing with LeBron's not easy.
So
They
dumb.
blame so much of it on him. I look, I'm not the biggest fan of his style of play, Westbrook's at times.
Yeah.
But you also have to acknowledge, like, he's going to a situation here where it's a little more like Ty Lue's a great coach.
Sure.
They've got an infrastructure in place. He's played with Paul George before. They know each other. There's no figuring out like personalities. And I think Russ, like, I think he gets fueled by some of this talk. One, you're going to play for the Clippers in LA.
Sure. Crosstown.
It's just like, how is it going to feel him though, right? And
Cross locker room.
Cross locker room.
For the first time ever, I have this feeling it's going to fuel him in the right
I
direction
agree.
because I think he's finally understanding. Like, I only have a few more chances now. It's 21 games left for the Clippers. We had Noah Eagle on earlier, and he was saying that the Clippers for the last 2 years have played the most games before headed into the All-Star break. So they only have 21 games left. Russ, for 21 games, he can't screw things up. And obviously, I'm not counting postseason. He's not going to screw things up. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to let him. I think this is such a pivotal year for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like just their future going forward. Like, I think if they get bounced earlier, like let's say they match up with the Suns in the first round, they lose, they're probably changing the front office. And
front office or personnel on the floor. I mean, do you break up PG and Kawhi? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Probably PG's the one. Obviously, you'd probably look to move. But
Yeah, I like Paul George a lot.
I feel like Kawhi and Russ could not be more opposites. They just feel I'm not that, and Russ seems like, from everything I've heard, minus the Lakers stuff, he's a fantastic teammate. Everybody seems to love him.
Yeah,
but something about Kawhi, and I don't necessarily think they'll butt heads, but I don't know if
maybe
Kawhi,
Paul George is like, this is my guy. Kawhi, like, embrace him.
When you can go somewhere where you feel wanted, Westbrook has not felt wanted since maybe the first time the trade happened. But how long did that honeymoon last in LA? They've been talking about trading him for a year and a half.
Yes.
He's getting killed on social media. People within the organization are leaking things out about him. And like, I think that's a hard environment to walk into every day and to you're trying to be yourself, but at the same time, they don't want you here. He is going somewhere where Paul George was advocating for him. Like, we want you here. And I think that could shift your attitude. Like, okay, we are in this together. And if it doesn't work, well, they've got the depth.
They got Bones Highland.
They got Bones. Eric Gordon.
Terrence Mann.
I mean,
Yep.
they've got some legit.
Plumlee to step up tonight.
Paul George is a ball
Plumlee.
handler.
Yeah.
Kawhi's a ball handler.
Kings almost legend Mason Plumlee.
Yeah.
Kings
I think Westbrook gets a lot of crap, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but I think, man, we've tried to act like this guy is just a straight bum, and it's like, no, look, I do think his NBA, he's not going to have a ton more chances left, but he's still a talented guy, and you see it. He puts up numbers.
He just reminds me a lot of like late career Allen Iverson, where it's just like what you do is fine and it's great, and no one's saying you're bad at what you do. But where you are in your career, we can't have you
shoot,
play. Yeah, like you can't.
Your strengths.
You just can't have the ball in your hands as much. You can't take as many shots as you need to take. And it's great that he has the ability. He averaged triple doubles for a season. Use that other stuff. Like, be a great ball mover,
playmaker,
get rebounds, like impact the game in that way. You don't have to score
and
18 points a game.
I think he can, and it's the other thing. I mean, to be fair, look at some of the guys he was playing with. Hey, here's Wenyen Gabriel.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves.
Damn.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Oh, yeah. Kings, Clippers tonight. We also have Cattles and Rami kicking things off at 2 to get you closer to the next biggest game of the season for the Sacramento Kings when they take on the Clippers. During this last break, we were staying live on YouTube talking about Westbrook and how things could look. Dude, the numbers on Westbrook against the Kings this year. Woo!
Say it. Do it. We'll take it.
21 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 43% shooting, 47% from 3. That's 8 of 17 from 3-point land against the Kings this year. That's a pretty significant number considering he's shooting 29% on the season.
That was the next question. That was the next question.
And then Kawhi. Yeah. When Kawhi plays, the Clippers are 24-11. His last 17 game stretch, we've referenced the numbers a couple of times. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 51% shooting, 46% from 3, 92% from the free throw line. So it's a tall task. Second, I have a back-to-back. You're not playing the Blazers C squad. You're playing a legit title contender if healthy tonight. What are your biggest questions headed into this one?
Are they up for the challenge? I mean, to me, I think this is the Kings. I mean, it's pretty obvious statement, but it's their most difficult. It's their biggest game of the season, obviously. But I mean, you look at the teams they play. They played Philly. They played Milwaukee, Denver, the teams at the top of their conferences. But this is a different Clippers team than they faced the first few times. The first week of the season they played them, they lost by 2 points, like late in the game. They beat the C team for the Clippers. This is a lot of all-star, top tier rotation players. I mean, even their bench. Robert Covington's a guy we haven't even named so far. He's a guy that the Kings could use on their bench. You're a big Rocco guy. It's just, are the Kings up for the challenge?
Rocco.
If they can, Rocco. If they can, it reminds me of Kojo though, Corey Joseph.
Sorry. Go to Rocco. Go to Rocco.
If the Kings to me can make this a game, and if they lose, as long as they battle it out. I don't want any morale wins or any silver linings, but if they just can compete with this team and not get, put in the dirt, I'm going to feel happy with how that result goes. But
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of looking at it just from the 2-game series aspect of it, of like you mentioned, this is a legitimate playoff team, potentially like a finals contending team. How do the Kings perform? How can they stack up when, again, Mike Brown mentioned right before the break that this is the time when teams really start to get flowing and start to really, ramp up for the playoffs with the intensity. Can the Kings split? Can they compete against a really good Clipper team that I personally, if you look at just their lineup, their roster, it's a lot of long, lengthy guys who the Kings have really, really struggled with length this year.
And that's we had Noah Eagle on earlier, and he was talking about the Clippers defense, because I'm like, hey, they're going to do a good job of stopping De'Aaron getting to his spots. They have such great individual defenders. We obviously know Zubac's tonight, but they still have some backup bigs now in Plumlee. And they play together, and he's like, oh man, but their defense has dropped to 11th. And we're like, shut up, Noah, you shut it.
That's dropping.
Yeah, exactly. And and he was like, no, it's different. But at the same time, what he doesn't see from us, like what we see from the outside of when we're looking in on the good defensive teams, is that the individuals that they have, and Kawhi Leonard averaging almost 2 steals per game, like those moments, the Kings need to be so perfect, disciplined, and locked in every possession down against a team like this if they want to compete and have a chance in a game like this.
Yeah, that's what really scared me about last night. Was, you go on that the Blazers go on that huge run to start the game. The Kings were only able to come back because of the competition they were going against.
Yes.
If they do that again tonight, you're just going to get blown out.
Yep.
That's how the game's going to go. You don't get that kind of opportunity against teams that are legitimately playoff contenders, and that they have to, like you mentioned, they just have to realize the importance of every possession, because come playoff time, come just when games are really, really important. It sounds cliche and corny, but legitimately every single possession matters. And, Terrence Davis last night got off to a little bit of a slow start, had 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
Oof.
I was saying, I don't know if in a playoff game he would necessarily have gotten the run that he did. I think it helped that the rest of the team was really struggling, and I think Mike was really searching on his bench to find something. But that's the kind of thing where it's like, even TD, who plays a great game, you have something to learn from that, because, you can't come out slow like you did last night.
They played physical last night, the Kings. I felt like they did a good job of like, all right.
Well, they turned it on after.
I was going to say, I think the Blazers really set the tone.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that zone really gave them problems.
You got to clean that up. All right. You're in the NBA. You got to figure out a zone. All right. It should
Go
not be that this
them.
is difficult. I want to see, and they played physical last night, but how they handle it against a team like this. And going way back, when you go back to when the Kings were first in the playoffs, that 98-99 season, it's a game like a lot of Kings fans reference, because that Kings team, I don't know, they're kind of known as being softer, that especially in that early stage, and they were matching up against the Utah Jazz, these dirty ass Utah Jazz teams. Talked about Stockton Malone a lot.
Yeah.
Chris Webber set in the beginning of that game in Utah one of the nastiest screens on Stockton and just leveled him, put him on the ground.
Stockton probably flopped.
I'd like to see that.
It was one of those
Today.
moments. It was like Chris Webber went, I'm setting the tone
Literally
tonight.
set the tone. Yeah.
Like, we're not going to get punked by you old men. They lost the series. They
You really
pushed it
gave
to
him a
5.
shot there.
He would not, and John did not like that shot. He did not want that shot.
Did not want
he
it.
definitely did
He
not
did not
want
want
that.
the shot.
Chris
Really
Webber
poking
said,
and prodding him right
Chris
now.
Webber says, I'm mandating that I give you this shot with this screen
Stockton tried,
right now.
Tried to deny it.
Oh, he tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I love this.
But I'm not saying I need that Chris Webber moment tonight. Obviously, that's dramatic. That's a playoff game. But, like, honestly, I do want to see, like, Fox and I, like, don't back down if Kawhi Leonard's on you. Don't
If Russ
back down
rocks
if
the
Paul
baby
George-
on him first possession of the game.
Yeah. I want the Kings to set the tone tonight.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have to be the physical team, because that's what it's going to take for you guys to compete, right? You can't be like, oh, we're the nice, plucky, good story in the NBA, the number 3 seed, because you'll get punked. And you can get punked fast, especially by a team like this. So
I want some fire.
Keegan Murray enforcer. Can't wait.
Keegan Murray, ripping the jersey after the game. Oh, yeah, he's going to be.
Honestly, that's a guy you tonight where I'm like, okay, Keegan.
I mean, if he were to do it, that talk about sending if Keegan Murray's the one who's laying somebody out,
well, he would not. He would not. But
he would not.
I'm just
he'll break character sometime.
But
that would fire me up.
Can Keegan have a game
be a
tonight,
moment.
right?
Yeah.
Because you got to think, Sabonis and Fox are going to attract a lot of attention out there. Can Keegan be the guy to get something going from outside? I still maintain he's got to get some more looks.
And even I know he needs to get some more looks. And Deuce has said before, like the team needs to do a better job of getting him looks. But I also go, he needs to do a better job of demanding the ball and looking for his own. Did you guys see that last night? That behind the back, step back.
Couldn't believe it.
Yes.
More.
It was like,
how about the assist? How about you? Did you see his pass to Sabonis where he drove and I mean it wasn't the flashiest pass, but he dumped it off to him?
What do you think it's going to take to get that out of him?
Experience, man.
Experience, yeah. And again, I think we talked about before, just push coming to shove and someone not being available or someone not being on. I mean, but also, wasn't his career high against the Clippers? Didn't he score 30 against the Clippers? I'm pretty sure that was the game, wasn't it?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, his career wasn't against Houston. Just recently,
I think he had 27 against. He might have had 27 against the Clippers. He had a big game.
Was
against
that
the
in
Clippers
LA?
It was against LA, and it's when they had a blowout win. But he's had a big game there before.
My grandma's funeral was that day.
Thanks for bringing that up, Frank.
It's just throwing.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring that
my
up.
God, how could you bring that up?
Hey, why
That was wrong.
Morgan, did he do that on purpose?
I think is he trying to throw it
play
in
the song.
He's trying to throw it in his face that his grandma is dead.
Like,
you are an awful person, Frankie.
Dude, that's just.
What are you doing?
It's Keegan Murray.
It's Friday, man.
It's Keegan Murray.
We got Kings and Clippers tonight. Appreciate you guys.
That wasn't me, guys.
And it wasn't even Chris Berlad.
I do want to remind you, got to go to SactownSports.com, read Frankie's game preview for Kings Clippers coverage of tonight's game. Plus, Chris Watkins will be live tomorrow morning on YouTube.com/SactownSports1140 with Kings Weekly. Coming up next, it's Kettles. It's Rami. We love you guys, but we got to go. See ya.
And brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
You don't have to look far to be inspired at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. We take customer service to the next level. From our no-pressure sales and service to our great selection and financing options. Whether you're shopping online or in person, you'll see why our team is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Starts in Honda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Cell phones. They're attached to us every day. Mine is for sure. It's a necessity we all count on. The other thing we count on is our money. So why should you waste paying more for the same exact thing? The AstroTurf is greener at Consumer Cellular. Save up to half on your wireless bill, unlimited talk and text, flexible data plans, starting at just $20 a month. Their award-winning 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your phone, keep your number. No contract, no activation fee at all. Get the exact same coverage as the major carriers. Backed by 100% risk-free guarantee. It's easy. Here's how to start saving right now. Pick up your cell phone. Dial #250